we go. Welcome in. It is Old School 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com. Austin Orman here. To my left, back in style, Husker Hall of Famer, 8-year NFL vet, Jay Foreman. Jay, welcome back. How are you? You feeling betrayed a little bit by some off-air conversations?
Oh, it was on there. It's all good. It's. Hey, like they say about your boy Bach. Hey, Bach tried to give me the Sammy Sosa. He's exactly like Sammy Sosa.
He looks the same size.
But that's who Sammy Sosa wants to look like Bach, or used to want to look like Sammy Sosa. Made a comeback. He realized it didn't work out well for him. But Bach, just listen, Captain Controversy. The ability just to let people just stab his homeboy in the back, and he likes to stir the pot too. That's all right though. You know what? It's cool.
With friends like Bach,
you don't got to worry about no enemies. You ain't got to worry about no enemies. Look at him. He laughing back there too, man.
He knows what he did.
Exactly. He did it too, and he loved it too. Look at
every second of it. Every second of it.
He made his day.
402-464-5685 if you want to be a part of the show. Brought to you as always by Certified Piedmontese, the Mercado. Got 3 more days of Cash Blitz keywords for you. In fact, really just 9 words left. The word for Wednesday in our Cash Blitz keyword for Old School, late. L-A-T-E, late. Text that to 508-777-1000, 508-777-1000 for your chance to be entered to win $1,000. They'll do a drawing tomorrow at noon, and then we will have 2 more keywords for you at 4 different times of the day. 2 more days of keywords, 8, 10, 1, and 3. All right, Jay, let's get into it. Some Husker football. November's around the corner. Nebraska, just 1-7 in the month of November under Matt Rhule. A lot of one-score losses. Of course, Nebraska has reversed a little bit of that trend this year with 3 one-score wins so far in the 8 games Nebraska's played this season. When you look at what's happened over the last 2 years for Nebraska, and now this year for the Huskers, 8 games into year 3 under Matt Rhule, what needs to change for Nebraska to be more successful in November? And what are you confident has changed that makes Nebraska less likely to win 0 or 1 games in November this go around?
Well, they've shown the ability to gut some games out. Obviously, it hasn't been aesthetically pleasing or whatever you want to call it. But they've been able to win some games where they've been, I guess, counted out or down and out. So I think in that point, you can draw some things from that, learning how to win or just the winning feeling, especially with, the way that college football in general is shaping up. You just never know, what game catapulted you to get out of your own way. I think the schedule is still very favorable. I think USC is a very talented team as far as like athletes and all that stuff. But I don't think it's like a huge talent gap, if anything. And then, I think we have some better upgraded players at certain positions, so forth and so on. And I don't think they're, USC is such a huge mountain to climb that you can't go out there and put one foot in front of the other and win the game. Now, I will say this: there's only one path to winning big games, and that's right through them. So if this is not a game that you're not gonna. This is not a cute game. It's not a time to try to be all like.
It seems like
fluffy.
On the surface, it seems like it could be a cute game. Oh, it's Nebraska who wants to throw the ball, who's had success throwing the ball. It's USC. They're West Coast. They're soft. They want to throw it, all that. No, you got to man up. You can't get cute in a game like this.
Yeah, but when both teams have played well this year, I'm talking for USC and Nebraska, what have they done?
Run it and stopped it.
Ran the ball effectively and stopped the run. When they haven't, they hadn't done well. So if you want to look at USC, I'll take the Illinois game out because I think that was like almost like a half a loss before they got on the plane. I think they played at 11.
Yeah, that was the early one.
That was not. I'm not giving anybody from the West Coast any favors, but come on, dog. You flying to Champaign and playing at 11? I don't care if you got there Thursday morning. It's still not going to work out right because then they won't be able to practice.
Right.
So I'll give you a half a loss excuse there. When you watch them against Notre Dame, here's my view on that Notre Dame game. Notre Dame obviously ran the ball effectively against their defense. They got two really good running backs. Love's, oddly enough, probably projected to be a first round pick as a running back, which isn't the norm now.
Well, we just had one last year,
but it's not the norm over the last few years. Because obviously they're trying to go by committee, and so when you look at the way that Notre Dame was able to play against USC, USC still had probably control of the game. I was expecting USC to win. One bad interception by the quarterback towards Notre Dame sideline, and so as I'm looking at the right sideline, the game changed. Now the weather did kind of play a little bit of factor, but it didn't play a huge factor like people would think.
It never does, right? Because yes, it's a physical thing. The weather, it does make an impact on the game, but I think I've heard you say in this program, dealing with the weather is more mental. Take your precautions physically, but really it's whichever team is, less in their head about it, right?
Less in their head about it. They know it. I doubt it's going to catch them by surprise. Now, I think ball handling, if it becomes a little bit, the ball becomes slick, obviously I think bodes extremely well for Nebraska. Into Nebraska's favor, ball handling, because you're just used to it. I mean, you play when Nebraska practices in the spring. It's not ideal conditions. I know they probably go out sometime in the spring. We've had a little bit of colder weather, and handling the ball, actually handling the ball when there's mist in the air and the temperature drops is harder than in wet conditions. That's from experience, and that's what I know. And I remember Wade Phillips and Ted Cottrell, he brought in this whole thing he put on the projector and talked about it. The ideal, now this is Buffalo weather, so it's not apples to apples, but when we could get in this case, the Dolphins, or we played the Raiders 1 year, and he's like, well, if we can get the temperature at any point in time in this game between this and then if it's not, snowing, he's like, this is where we have to have turnovers, and it worked like a charm. I don't know what Marv Levy they had this whole deal, and but probably played in our head to maybe try to force more turnovers, but it actually really helped out. I remember specifically, they had a running back named Cecil Collins who played at LSU, who was a really good runner, got into some stuff off the field on a kickoff return. He fumbled the ball, but we weren't able to recover it. But we counted all that. So it was a caused fumble, and it just went out of bounds. 2 series later, same thing. So, I mean, I think it's, both teams, have to get out of their own way. I know USC is favored. Nebraska's going to play really well and tackle well. Understand that they got 3 really good receivers. I know everybody wants to talk about number 6. 8 can go. 16 can go. The way they run their offense, it's obviously just a very, very well-run Michigan type offense. When we do the Whiteboard Wednesday, they run level routes. They just run it with it's like going from accounting 1 to accounting 3 in college. And you got to go out and beat these dudes.
You talk about the turnovers. That's definitely going to be something that needs to change for Nebraska. Last year, Nebraska turned the ball over in all 4 games in November, turned it over twice in 3 of them. The one game that Nebraska only turned it over one time was Wisconsin, a game Nebraska ended up winning by 19 points. Of course, that was a 1-3 November. The year before for Nebraska was 0-4, and I'm still in the process of getting the exact numbers. But you can assume the turnover numbers were still not good. Now 2 completely different offenses, 2 different groups of personnel, and all that goes without saying. But Jay, if you look at those losses for Nebraska in November just last year, Dylan Raiola at quarterback and some of the same skill guys around, 1 possession to UCLA, 1 possession to USC in a game I think Nebraska led early on and then couldn't get much going in the second half. And then the 1-score loss to Iowa, where he turned the ball over, one of them that strip sack fumble right at the end, but put the damper on the chance to win the game. When you look at this November for Nebraska, is it going to be more important for the offense to avoid giveaways, or the defense to create takeaways? Where does this Nebraska team need to fall?
Oh, well, I think if you can create takeaways, especially because we haven't done it, consistently, especially throughout the season. If you can get hot here as far as getting takeaways down the stretch, I think it bodes. I mean, I think that's obviously more, probably more important because number one, you're getting more possessions and less possession for the opposing team. But ideally, if you're creating turnovers, fumbles, caused fumbles, obviously interceptions, sacks, forced fumbles, you're generally going to be getting the ball at midfield or, in their case, negative territory, but plus territory for us. So then that should up your scoring percentage, right, in the red zone. The ability to put points on the board. Points in November are the utmost importance. And also, look, when you look at November's, it's kind of a little bit like misleading because I would take the first year out of it. Now, granted, the biggest letdown, they were 5-3, right? You let down.
And then you have 12 turnovers in November that year, by the way.
Right. But that was a mismatch of
but still 12 turnovers. You
Correct.
could even be boring and just punt.
Right.
You couldn't even be boring and punt. You gave the ball away 12
Who was the
times.
quarterback?
Does that matter?
Yeah, it does. Who you have playing, it does. Last year and this year, I would rather focus on that. I mean,
but still 7 turnovers.
Sure.
I mean, that's a step in the right direction.
It's 7 too many.
I'd even say 3 too many. But I mean, if you can deal with 1 a game if you're creating some.
Yeah, but it's got to be. But it's still fundamental football. So you can say they improved in it, but I mean, I guess you want to look. If you want to look at all of it, and you want to look at November. It's great to talk about the stats. I'm looking at more reality. We have been over the last 20 years, generally been a losing program, give or take, right? Okay, since Bo. So I don't know when Bo ran out here.
Bo took over in what that have been 2008, and then was out of here
15?
After 14. So 15 was the first year.
So
nice
10 years. Last 10 years, we have been a losing program. So to just take Matt Rule out of it. So the reason why, because everybody talks about Nebraska in November, and I guess if you want to put, Matt Rule's the reason I'm saying Matt Rule not involved, his tenure's not over.
Right.
But so the 2 tenures that we do know, when you're a losing program, that's how you lose. So when you're saying Nebraska hasn't won, you're just essentially telling, all right, like hammering home the fact that you lost. There's not a team that plays losing football that wins football games. It's luck if you do that. In November, which is pretty much magnifying what you were doing in April, May, June, July, August, September, October, and November, because the possessions become short or become less. Everybody has tape on you. You're not putting in a whole new playbook. You kind of are who you are. So you got to really go out there and earn it. And some people's styles probably are November-esque. Right. And so what Nebraska's got to do is they got to go out there and be, offensively, they have to get off to a good start. They got to be ahead of the chains. They got to make USC play defense. It's just like USC is a team that you have to make them play defense. You have to make them play offense. You keep the explosive plays both offensively and defensively for them to a minimum. You're ahead of the change. You're ahead of the game. If you're getting them like 4 plays and they get 7, a big chunk play, a first down. Oh, you bust the coverage. Now you got the dude out here with his little knife or whatever. Now you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
But you make them put together 12-play drives where they got to do it. That you're not that you want that to happen to the score, but your percentage of getting off the field goes up
against a team like USC, as opposed to against a team like Army or Iowa, who's maybe more comfortable doing that.
Right. So you're looking at this game right here. You got to make them earn it, and the only way to make them earn it is the path is literally straight through them.
When you think about make them earn it, we've seen other teams, quote unquote, make Nebraska earn it by sitting back in zone, right? The Cincinnati sort of strategy. Do you think Nebraska pulls out any of that? Or do you think that John Butler is actually going to put his money where his mouth is? He asks the crowd to be loud and crazy and disruptive as they can be.
Mm.
which I think is convenient because that's what I think his defense needs to be. And we'll get to this a little bit more in our next segment. But would you play maybe more, keep it in front of you defense against a team like USC to make them earn it? Or do you have to be who you are at this point of the year? It's too late to switch up like that.
I think you got to do a little bit of both. I think if you go out there and just say, we're just going to play man, you're going to get cooked. If you go out there and just say, we're going to play zone or deep zone, you're going to get cooked. I think the one thing about this USC offense is probably the best. It's not even probably. It's the best offense we'll play all year.
Well, top 5 offense in the country, so it better be.
Yeah, but the way that they run it is way better than last year. And how they do it, it puts a tremendous amount of stress on you. So if you're just doing the same thing, you're just asking to get taken for a ride. So I think
it's a quarterback in his second year with a play caller. You would hope it would have improved.
Right, but the way they run it and the way he's running it, it's
night and day.
And the receivers are better.
Got a couple good ones.
So I mean, and the tight ends are better. So I mean, it's but it's. I think you got to mix it up. And more importantly, guys got to execute. You got to make plays. You got to go out there and compete. I think sometimes people really, think a coverage is going to make the play. Guys got to make. This is a game you got to make plays. All right, you got to make plays. You got to go out there and make football plays. You're not going to sit there and say, I think sometimes people think, all right, well, we ran cover 4, so we're going to stop it. No, they're still going to throw it down the seam. You got to make a play. Cover 4 is essentially off man. That's why if I'm playing cover 4, I might show press and then I'm bailing, right? And then I'm baiting them into throwing a hitch and I'm going to make the play. So you got to make plays. It doesn't really matter. And the crowd noise is great, right? It could throw off their timing. And a lot of times with Lincoln Riley's offenses, it does bode well because there's not a lot of check with me and the quarterback's orchestrating it, right? But more importantly, the crowd noise, you have to be expert communicators as a defense. You have to be. Because then if you're not, you're going to bust.
Right.
So even if you had them in a vulnerable position and you bust, well, then it's all for nothing. Now you're watching, do run up the sideline and you're looking at each other. What happened?
Because the crowd noise that you asked for and that you're depending on.
So this is, if there's a checklist for the defense come Saturday night, communicate. I mean, obviously all with tackling and all that stuff, but communication is pre-snap communication, I guess post-snap communication, and then communication obviously in between series. It has to be. There is no time to slip. Because if you watch that Notre Dame game, the first big explosive play they got, the ball was snapped, and everybody at Notre Dame's looking at each other, right? And I think it was number 16 or whoever guy that caught it up the right sideline almost went house call.
Yeah.
And they're at home. Notre Dame's at home. So, you just got to make sure you, set yourself up for as much success as possible.
The last time that Nebraska had a non-losing November was in 2018. Huskers went on the road and lost at number 8 Illinois by 5. Came back home and beat Illinois 54-35. Turned around that next week and beat Michigan State 9-6 in the Barrett Pickering game before losing on a walk-off field goal at Iowa 31-28. The last time Nebraska had a straight-up winning November was a November it only played 3 games in. Nebraska beat number 6 Michigan State here in 2015. Followed that up with a 31-14 road win at Rutgers before a 1-possession loss on the road at number 3 Iowa before the Hawkeyes would turn around, fall in the Big Ten championship game, and get smacked by Stanford after their magical ride through the regular season ended there in the Rose Bowl. Let's keep up with this theme of defense. How is it that Nebraska can slow down USC's passing offense, one of the tops in the country, averaging 326.1 yards per game in the air? Husker Hall of Famer Jay Foreman there. I'm Moss Norman. More of Old School when we get back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What's better than supporting your favorite radio station and eating delicious Nebraska-made products? Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska wants to highlight you the listener on the 93.7 The Ticket Wall of Fame at the store. Stop by the store at 48th and R in Lincoln and see their huge variety of small batch gourmet jerky. Or if you're not in the area and want to try some, go to smokinggunjerky.com and enter code EARLY for 10% off your purchase. It's the ultimate low-calorie, high-protein snack at Smoking Gun Jerky of Nebraska.
From the chant of Husker Power to Allo Fiber powering your home and Husker Nation, Allo is the teammate you can trust. Whether you're streaming at home with Allo Internet, watching on the go with DirecTV through Allo, or checking stats and scores on Allo Mobile, Allo keeps you in the game. Bench the other guys and team up with the official internet, TV, and mobile partner of the Huskers. Go Gig Red. Visit allofiber.com/Husker Radio.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agriculture storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post-frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Midwest Bank is hosting our annual Thanksgiving food drive, partnering with local Lincoln schools to provide Thanksgiving dinners to families in need. We hope to provide meals for more than 120 families in our community this year. You can help by dropping off a donation at either Midwest Bank location, 7001 Pioneers Boulevard or 2655 Jamie Lane. Any donation is greatly appreciated. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
Are you looking to upgrade your equipment and keep cash in your pocket? Through October at Landmark Implement, get up to a 24-month waiver on select John Deere tractors and combines, or lock in a 2.9% fixed rate for 36 months, followed by a qualified standard rate for another 36 months. Whether you're thinking of this year's harvest or planning ahead, we've got a solution that works for your bottom line. Visit your local Landmark Implement for more details, or check us out at landmarkimp.com and experience the Landmark difference.
Hey guys, it's Nick. High school football postseason action is already here, and 93.7 The Ticket is bringing you all the hits starting this Friday. Join me and Jay Foreman from Malcolm High School as we broadcast Class C2 action with 11 seed Lincoln Lutheran doing battle against number 6 Malcolm. Kickoff is slated for 7 p.m. with pregame coverage coming your way at 6:45 p.m. It's the first round of the high school football playoffs, and it's right here on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Rosie's Sports Bar and Grill, open for lunch and dinner at 1501 Center Park Road, just south of 14th and Highway 2.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back here to Old School. Austin Norman and Jay Foreman with you. Got no plans tonight? Go stop by Liquid Asset Sports Bar and Grill for the first edition of their speaker series. Tonight's episode features Husker volleyball assistant coach Jalen Reyes. Our own Nick Upgrade Sainer will be emceeing the event starting at 7 p.m. as Coach Jalen Reyes gives you a look inside the Husker volleyball program and takes your questions in a non-broadcasted event. No cost to get in. It's sponsored by Mike and his team at Alpha Wealth Advisors, who focus on advising individuals and businesses on investing, retirement, and financial planning. Learn more about them at thealphawealth.com. Again, it's that Liquid Assets, 23 beers on tap, a specific bar for high-end bourbon and spirits, 30 TVs across the space showing the World Series, college football, NFL, NBA, all that good stuff. Delicious wings, handheld sandwiches, and more. Don't forget their chocolate chip cookie skillet as well. That's tonight. Husker volleyball coach Jalen Reyes at 7 p.m. Liquid Asset Sports Bar and Grill, 2755 Jamie Lane here in Lincoln. All right, Jay, let's talk about it. That USC offense, again, 326 passing yards per game. Whole lot of conference leader black highlight on Jaden Mayava's sports page, stats page. 10.2 yards per attempt, 15 yards per completion, and 311.4 yards per game out of the second year at USC signal caller. If Nebraska is going to slow down the USC passing attack, what's it going to take?
I think you got to take away his first read. And we'll see that again on the Whiteboard Wednesday. You can't make it easy on him, so you got to make it earn it, or make them earn it, and make him obviously earn it as well. And then you got it. More importantly, you got to do a really good job against their run game without adding an extra player to the box. That's number one. You do that. That's where Notre Dame was able to. Yes, they put up really good stats again. They beat Notre Dame in every stat except one: turnovers. 3 turnovers to 1. Where they were way better than Notre Dame on third down. And then what Notre Dame did is they competed every single chance they could, 50-50 balls and all that. And he was essentially, 50% on a completion rate. Now, sure, the weather and the rain started to come down, so that was a little bit, played into it. But I think you have to make him earn it. You can't make him easy on it, and you got to be extremely disciplined when they run that kind of, RPO action. He's probably a little bit better runner than the last 2 quarterbacks that we played. He's bigger. But you also just can't make it easy on him. You can't be overzealous and like, I'm going to make a play, and you can't panic, especially against an offense like this that's predicated on you're reading one guy, and it's always an outlet for him. So sometimes you got to be okay with giving up the short route and not give up the big explosive play.
Ooh, see, that was going to be my next question for you. Is this a game where maybe if you're in Nebraska, you do some more of that no risk it, no biscuit strategy where you do get after the quarterback and know that you got guys on the outside who at least compete with USC's receivers? Because I think if Nebraska wants to affect the passing game, obviously you got to get after the quarterback, affect him, get in his body, make him move his feet, all that good stuff that we normally hear. Nebraska has not been able to do that with 4 guys consistently at all this season. And so looking at it from this vantage point, I think this is a game where, especially if you feel confident about your offense getting back on track, now that it was great against Northwestern, it was gutty enough, it found a way. But if you think you have some holes and some options you can exploit against USC when you have the ball, if you're Nebraska, the defensive backfield is supposed to be the strength of your team. You like Sierra Wright. You like, obviously, Andrew Marshall on the outside. I think Donnie Jones gets a lot of looks this game with USC's overall athleticism on the perimeter. But, man, this is where maybe you don't go full, Wink Martindale, Greg Williams send the house every time. But I think you might have to if you want to affect Mayava and you think that he's not as good under pressure, like any quarterback. Their numbers pretty much automatically go down against pressure. You're going to lose your fair share of one-on-ones on the outside. But just because you lose some in the first quarter, the first half, to me, Jay, that doesn't mean you stop doing it. It means that's part of the deal, and you just hope you're able to win enough of your battles, enough of your plays that you do get to Mayava, you do force those off-platform misfires, that you're able to take advantage over the course of 60 minutes.
Yeah, I mean, you got to mix it up. I mean, you got to run some man. Again, we'll see the play. It was a run play, but you got to play man against them. It's going to be personnel. Obviously, you're going to if you feel like you have good matchups, whether they're in 11 personnel, 12 personnel, especially, when they go 11 personnel, depending on who they have in there, you want to have good matchups. And if you have good matchups, you got to play man, or you can play, blitz and play man. You can blitz and play zone. Either way, you got to execute and you got to win. You got to blitz with the intention that I'm going to get there every single time, even if you don't, obviously. And then if you're running any games up front, you got to get the pressure. There's money to be made, especially against the left tackle. There's money to be made. And then I think on both tackles, but in particular the left tackle, I think his number is 73. You got to have it. Williams Nwaneri, this is where you got to be feasting on him, and it's not just the sacks; it's getting him off the time, and as long as you're not busting coverages, right? Just falling for a double move or whatever, and competing, you like your chances. This is what you're essentially guys are coming here getting paid to do, cover. You're not paid to have me do it; you do it, and so
sometimes you are paid to be that deep dropper, though, Jay.
Yeah, that didn't work out well. Listen, Navarro Bowman's he even mad at Vic, but I think you got to go out there. Look, I think Coach Butler has a lot of confidence in being able to come up with a package or a game plan, and I think he's got a lot of confidence in those guys that they can go out there and play. So now go out there and improve yourself, and don't sit there and think that you got to go and play second fiddle to the USC Trojans.
Right.
I mean, sure. Those guys over there, receivers, are good. You're the number 2 pass defense in the nation. Is good on good, but all that is done is not a factor if we don't play well up front. Notre Dame beat them up front on both sides of the ball, and then as the game wore on, they were able to take advantage defensively. Was able to take advantage and force them into some situations. That where he didn't play well. Now, look, you got to expect his best effort coming back, right? I mean, he threw those are empty stats he had.
Yeah.
Because any quarterback that has 50% completion percentage, you shouldn't be happy. Right. So he's probably trying to be more efficient coming out that bye week. So you got to expect his best game here coming up here in a few days.
A little bit's been made about how much better USC is at home versus on the road. I don't think there's nearly as much to that. I mean, you look at the games that USC has played on the road. Of course, you mentioned their 2 losses were there as well as at Purdue. But that's a good Illinois team. And like you said, a weird body clock game that USC had every opportunity to win. They scored with less than 2 minutes to go. And Illinois drove down to field goal range and kicked the walk-off there. Notre Dame, probably a little bit more consistent, still a little bit more of that championship DNA. Again, on the road in some weather. Kind of expect Notre Dame to win that. Then the other game that USC's been on the road for was Purdue.
Yeah.
And that was just kind of meh. It was 17-3 at halftime. That happens when you go to West Lafayette. USC has a big third quarter. They end up going up 30-10 entering the fourth quarter. They had a field goal and Purdue adds a touchdown. So I think it's just kind of natural that you're not as good on the road as you are at home. But what travels, Jay? Number one, it's a defense. If you're USC, even USC, right? Who this year allowing 23.1 points per game, which is kind of high by Big Ten standards, but really not that high overall. I think there's some really darn good defenses, especially in the Big Ten.
Yeah.
But you also like to think you can pack your running game. And USC does that at an incredibly high level as well. 35 rushes a game for 204 yards. That comes out to a 6-yard per carry average. This isn't a one-trick pony. Oh, yeah, Lincoln Riley, quarterback whisperer. They're just going to spread the ball around the yard. They can run that pill.
But this is what I mean when Caleb Williams or when Nebraska played down there a few years ago, when Frost was there, they were toting the pill then too. I think he runs it more and is committed more to it this year. I think, and the type of runs. Now, look, their offensive line is really athletic. They can pull and all this other stuff. They're not the like a big physical mauler type, but they can pull and run and do some stuff. So what does that do? That allows them to run quick hitting run plays, inside outside zone, a little bit of they'll run a lot of gap and stuff like that, but they want to get up at least into your face. You know what I mean? As a linebacker. So where the defensive line, and we'll ask Jason Peter here at 5, you got to be excellent at winning with your hands and obviously staying on your feet. and you got to haul butt to the ball. But then also linebackers have to know play side, backside, and obviously if you have a late alley filler, where to fill on pullers, because when they do pull, right, or they go pin and pull, or I used to call it double pull, and they don't really run a lot of odd front. Nebraska doesn't. Is that gap that you originally have moves, and everybody has to move with it. And that's where they put a lot of pressure on you in the run game. Now, what it also allows them to do on, jailbreak screens, smoke screens, bubble screens, all that stuff, and they can do some, orbit or morbid motion and all that. They can do a lot of things. They can run tight end screens. They can get downfield and be a secondary blocker to spring a big play. So this game is going to be on it. But the one thing that really stood out to me is that Michigan game. And granted, sure, it's at home. Nobody's going to play good on the road in Champaign against Illinois. At that time,
coming off a butt kicking.
A desperate game,
Mhm.
right? In Notre Dame.
Mhm.
Probably not going to score 70 points.
Hmm.
But that Michigan game, though, when we saw that defense up close and personal, right? And I think Nebraska ran the ball more than anybody gave them credit for it, like effectively at times, and maybe USC saw it. Hey, USC beat the break. They pounded the ball at them and continue to do it. They got explosive plays. They got the gut punch plays. They got the medium plays. They did whatever they wanted. It was like Baskin Robbins, whatever type of flavor you want. They were getting it from Michigan.
Up to 31 flavors.
Yeah.
32? Nope, not happening. 30?
Yeah.
No, it's too few. But
Yeah.
exactly 31 different ways.
It was in the defense of USC was pretty dominant against a quarterback that was coming in on a high, running game, obviously, and all that. And they did a pretty good job against them.
USC's defensive success so far this year due more to scheme or just having athletes all over the field?
I think it's the second year. I think is the D coordinator Lynn.
Yeah.
I think it's the second year. He obviously he's been able to kind of foster his roster. They gotten a little bit, continue to get bigger. And I think he knows how to use his players maybe a little bit better, and as he should, right? I mean,
year two, yeah,
year two. So I think it's a little bit of USC is always going to have athletes.
Mhm.
They're always, and they always do a really good job recruiting, so forth and so on. So I think it's the athletes have gotten better. I think they've gotten bigger. I think they've really gotten the guys fit for their scheme, which you should when you recruit and transfer portal. And then I think they have found a way, to use my man. I got to find him on here. He's number 18. He's like a prey mantis. All right. He's Eric Gentry. He's 6'6", 225 pounds. He's from Philly.
Leading tackler.
Leading tackler.
3 forced fumbles.
Yeah, and he's fast and all that. And I think when early in his career, remember when they played Utah? I think he looked like an oversized Merton Hanks, back there as a safety, kind of hybrid. They found different ways to use him, which has allowed everybody else to kind of flow off him. And he's a playmaker. He's a guy that you have to identify, like when you break the huddle. That's where I think the growth of him, along with that partnership with Lynn, and I know they got Rob Ryan as their linebacker coach, who brings a knowledge of defensive coordinator, how to use like unique athletes and body types. I think that's been the uptick. And plus, they put a big emphasis on red zone defense, keeping you off the scoreboard. Not much bend but don't break, but get down there and really tighten up.
And 2 really good safeties.
Yeah,
Kamari Ramsey was the guy they brought along to Big Ten Media Days, I think, second team all conference last year.
Yeah.
But then in the offseason, they add a transfer from North Carolina State by the name of Bishop Fitzgerald. 40 tackles, 1.5 for loss with a sack, but 5 interceptions, one of them taken back for a touchdown, 2 breakups as well.
Yeah.
2 really good players there in the back.
Well, you're strong up the middle, and that's any defense right now. So they've had a little bit of trouble on the outside, and that's fine. But up the middle, they're pretty good. And that's what they're able to really do. And you have 2 really good safeties. You can do a lot. You can take a lot of chances. You can be calculated. You can roll coverages. You can do things that normally you aren't able to do.
Whiteboard Wednesday coming up at 4 o'clock. White Boy Wednesday coming up next. I think Jay's really going to like this one. It was an incredible conversation between me, Nick Sainert, and our graphics girl, Gracie. Jay, you're going to like this. Whiteboard Wednesday
all
before Whiteboard Wednesday coming up next on Old School.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
Are you ready for a new opportunity? Check out Sandhills Global. Join a dynamic team where your skills are valued and your career can soar. We offer full-time positions with a 4.5-day work week, competitive pay, excellent benefits, and a positive work environment. From IT and marketing to sales and finance, we're looking for talented individuals like you. Apply today at sandhills.jobs and take the first step towards an exciting future. That's sandhills.jobs. Don't wait. Apply now.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills Global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Water heater gone? Call Bryant. The price you're quoted is the price you'll pay. And in most cases, same-day replacement. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111.
Are you looking to upgrade your equipment and keep cash in your pocket? Through October at Landmark Implement, get up to a 24-month waiver on select John Deere tractors and combines, or lock in a 2.9% fixed rate for 36 months, followed by a qualified standard rate for another 36 months. Whether you're thinking of this year's harvest or planning ahead, we've got a solution that works for your bottom line. Visit your local Landmark Implement for more details, or check us out at landmarkimp.com and experience the Landmark difference.
Celebrate Halloween with the Lincoln Stars a day early on Thursday, October 30th, as the Stars host the Sioux City Musketeers. Wear your favorite costume to the game, as there's a contest for both adults and kids with prizes for both age levels. Also, it's a Chuck-a-Puck night, and PBR beers are 2 for $6. It's Halloween Eve at the Icebox on Thursday, October 30th versus the Sioux City Musketeers. Get your tickets today at lincolnstars.com.
Midwest Bank is hosting our annual Thanksgiving food drive, partnering with local Lincoln schools to provide Thanksgiving dinners to families in need. We hope to provide meals for more than 120 families in our community this year. You can help by dropping off a donation at either Midwest Bank location, 7001 Pioneers Boulevard or 2655 Jamie Lane. Any donation is greatly appreciated. Your community, your bank, Midwest Bank, member FDIC.
MWR is dedicated to building attractive, affordable steel buildings that exceed your expectations. From commercial to residential to agriculture storage, steel buildings are cost-effective, attractive, and versatile. Plus, they're a lasting investment and an ideal choice. MWR uses Sentinel Building Systems out of Albion and can service you all over the state and region. If you have interest in a steel building, post-frame building, or fencing, give MWR a call today at 402-980-5273 or go to mwrbuildingandfence.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Sponsored by John Henry's Plumbing, Heating, and Air Conditioning.
The Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see partly sunny skies and it will be windy. Afternoon high around 53. Tonight, mainly clear skies with light wind. A low around 33. And tomorrow, widespread frost in the morning. Otherwise, mainly sunny with a light breeze. A high near 59. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fleck from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, Sean Callahan here, and I've got some great news for you. Copple Chevrolet GMC is proud to be the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln metros. Copple is also celebrating its 50th anniversary. We want to say thank you to all of our customers that have helped us reach these milestones. So come see why so many customers, including myself, are choosing Copple Chevrolet GMC for their automotive needs. Please check us out at koppelcars.com.
Attention all Wings fans. Buffalo Wings and Rings has daily specials that will make you want to stop in on all days of the week. Kids eat free on Mondays, and on Tuesdays, enjoy 40% off boneless or traditional wings at a price that makes the whole family happy. And come back on Wednesdays for $1.39 chicken tenders all day long. Get to Wings and Rings today, 68th and O, or in Williamsburg Village.
Hey there, this is Paul Scheel, owner of High Electric. I want to thank our friends and loyal customers and introduce High Electric to those looking for a new electrician. We've been serving the Lincoln and Omaha area for over 30 years, from design to install, upgrades, and repair. If you are a homeowner or a small business needing some electrical work, call us at 402-466-6606 or check us out at hyelectric.com. We look forward to hearing from you.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Welcome back in. Short segment here, wrapping up hour one of Old School. I'm Austin Orman. He is Jay Foreman. We got Whiteboard Wednesday before Whiteboard Wednesday. Jay, let's see how many of these things you know or can speak somewhat knowledgeably on. So let me set the scene for you. I walked in here 10:45, 11 or so, like I normally do. And Nick is just getting off of the drive. Gracie isn't back working. And we asked Nick how the Maroon 5 concert was last night. You a Maroon 5 guy?
No, I mean, I wouldn't go to the concert.
So it's officially on the white boy end of the spectrum?
I think old buddy got some soul, though. Isn't his name like
Adam Levine.
Adam Levine?
Adam
Yeah.
Levine.
But he doesn't dance, right?
Not really.
Right. He just kind of stoic, just does this, right?
It sings, very high voice.
Yeah.
Okay, so we're already on the wider end of the spectrum, right?
Mm-hmm.
Nick said he had a good time, wasn't his favorite show, but then listening back and thinking back through the other concerts, like, yeah, okay, fine. It was probably pretty good. Gracie says, oh, Maroon 5, that's such a nostalgic concert.
Nostalgic? What does that mean?
Like, good old
Life
days, rose-colored glasses. Like, this didn't just happen like 10 years ago, 15 years ago. Like, we're not old enough for Maroon 5 to be nostalgic.
Yeah, that's like
for us, which is incredible.
That's like the Bee Gees or something.
Seriously.
Yeah.
So apparently Maroon 5 is nostalgic to those of a certain age. And like, it's something that, they were definitely more popular, when the three of us were growing up. I'm the oldest of that crew at 27. Yeah. They're all in their low to mid 20s. Anyways, we start singing along a little bit. Nick starts playing some songs. We're ironically singing along. Here's where it gets even wider. Are you ready for this? We all were. It is just the hits, right? The parts that we know, kind of making fun of it, whatever. Okay, it gets better.
Yeah.
Nick says the next time that he's planning to go to Dallas, the Jonas Brothers are going to be there. Okay, but wait.
Yeah, Nick.
Quote from Nick: he doesn't want to go to see the Jonas Brothers. He wants to go see their opener, a guy by the name of Jesse McCartney. You ever heard of Jesse McCartney?
I don't know who Jesse McCartney is.
Neither had I. And Nick thought that was mind-blowing, that neither Gracie nor I knew any Jesse McCartney songs. Well, let me just tell you, Jay, I'll spare your ears. He sounds like store-brand Backstreet Boys.
This is just, here's the thing that's most apparent, right? Nick is just suspect. He's suspect, and it's definitely at best.
There's more to the story.
It can't get any worse.
Gracie then says she considered going to Maroon 5 yesterday, but decided instead to go see a band named Big Time Rush. Have you heard of them?
No. I just think that...
Okay, so Big Time Rush is essentially like New Age Monkeys. You remember the Monkeys from like the late 60s?
Yeah, they had a TV show too, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
That's essentially what they were. Was a TV show based around these guys who were in a band. And then they used the TV show to launch their popularity and become an actual touring band. Now, in full disclosure, brothers and I watched a little bit of that show growing up. Not enough to like remember any of the names or anything, but like I at least had heard of them. But I think that is a very good installment of the first White Boy Wednesday.
Yeah, man, you guys got you look, man, you got these young kids. They like different stuff. Nick is included. Nick was mad at me today because I texted in how he got brand new. I told him he was on that Connor Happer. I hope you listening, Nick. I'm still on you too. That's why he wasn't here when I got here.
Nick had to get on some of his pupils for not knowing who Akon was.
Yeah, but he's been kind of missing in action for a while.
He has. But anyways,
I didn't know T-Pain was here.
Nick wanted to go, but he couldn't get tickets.
No, this is where Nick didn't get tickets up to his liking. Number one,
Nick didn't get free tickets.
Or he
is what
didn't
it
get
was.
free tickets.
That's what it was.
That's what it was.
I can confirm that much.
So Nick didn't get blessed for his presence at T-Pain. He can go get tickets. Trust me. He just ain't getting it for free.
Does Nick liking T-Pain to the degree that he does that fall under White Boy Wednesday, or is T-Pain for everybody?
T-Pain's for I like T-Pain. I like T-Pain. I think he's pretty. I like everything about T-Pain. And he's funny too.
You met him?
No, but
really? All the people you've met, not T-Pain.
Not T-Pain. I would love to meet T-Pain.
Could have, but you didn't get tickets up to your liking.
I didn't even know T-Pain was here until I heard Nick talk about it today. I would go to T-Pain. I like T-Pain. I think his influence on music is obviously, I think it's not talked about enough. And I've seen him on different shows, and he's great.
From White Boy Wednesday to Whiteboard Wednesday. We'll get it going.
Oh, I thought
Come back with us at 4.
I thought that was Nick back there.
No.
I thought you did an APB call. Here goes Nick.
You heard his name. He's come back into the station to defend his honor.
Yeah.
We got Whiteboard Wednesday breaking down USC next on Old School.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Hi, Sean Callahan here, and I've got some great news for you. Coppel Chevrolet GMC is proud to be the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln metros. Coppel is also celebrating its 50th anniversary. We want to say thank you to all of our customers that have helped us reach these milestones. So come see why so many customers, including myself, are choosing Coppel Chevrolet GMC for their automotive needs. Please check us out at koppelcars.com.
Big box stores are tempting for buying equipment for your high schooler in sports or for yourself in your sports leisures. But buying new is awfully expensive. Why not go somewhere with new and used options? Play It Again Sports is quality, slightly to gently used equipment, and 50% of their inventory is actually new equipment. And it's more than baseball, softball, and golf. They also have equipment for disc golf, fitness, hockey, and more. Plus, they're always buying products. Bring your gear you're done with and get trade money on the spot. Play It Again Sports at 48th and Vine.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Water heater gone? Call Bryant. The price you're quoted is the price you'll pay. And in most cases, same-day replacement. Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing. 467-1111.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Hi, everybody. Charlie Stone back again with Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, there are so many great things to talk about right now. Let's start with new and pre-owned vehicles.
Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, we're all excited those days of inventory shortages are behind us. Right now, we have more than 400 new Hondas to choose from and over 125 pre-owned with just about any make or model in stock.
I know certified pre-owned Hondas are a very important part of your dealership. Tell us about certified, Andy.
We always have a great selection of certified pre-owned Hondas in stock in like new condition, and they also come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
How about service?
You know, our amazing service department not only services Hondas, but we service just about any make, and we are one of the largest tire dealers in the state. Look us up the next time you need tires on your car.
Experience the best at the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
Rashawn Jackson here for Bauer Infrastructure, a veteran-owned local company proudly serving Lincoln, Lancaster County, and the surrounding areas. Bauer provides quality work at an affordable price, and they're growing rapidly. If you want to experience a career with a fast-paced, family-friendly environment, visit BauerInfrastructure.com. They have top-of-the-line benefits, year-round work, even through the winter. Bauer, usher in the new era of infrastructure to an area near you. And as always, go Big Red!
Ryan, with all this red and all these people around, I'm still not seeing the tailgate.
Todd Spidell, former body shop owner, terrible driver.
We're getting close. Now, did you know with 3 locations in Lincoln and hundreds of years of combined technician experience, we can get Husker fans back on the road even quicker and safer after their tailgate mishaps? Oh, Todd, turn left right here.
Left or right?
Left, right here.
Right?
Well, you wait for the tow truck. I'm getting a hot dog.
Well, I guess while I'm waiting. All right! Most recommended! Eustace Body Shop.
Woohoo! Dude, you should be on American Idol.
You really think so?
No.
Accidents happen, even to Husker fans. If it happens to you, call Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
A business's phone is the lifeline to its customers and potential clients. That's why it's so important that you can take calls seamlessly from anywhere, whether you're on the road or in the office. Hamilton Business Technologies can help ensure your phone rings wherever you are. We can equip your headquarters and any of its locations with the right tools for smooth, professional call handling. As the official business IT partner of the Huskers, we know how to keep Nebraska businesses connected. Learn more at hamiltonisbusiness.com.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket. Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School. Sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman. On 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School. We got about 24 minutes. We're going to go a little bit later. 24 minutes. Whiteboard Wednesday. A little bit of teaching tape. Then we got my man Jason Peter coming in at 5. And so we got a little bit of what we're going to possibly see against these Trojans come Saturday night. Before we get into that, Old School is brought to you by the Mercado, Certified Piedmontese, Special Ingredients, the Butcher Shop, 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, 85th and Ondermatt / Old Cheney, 168th and Maple up there in the O. Also want to give a big shout out to AMI Advanced Medical Imaging as well, because we're about to get into some imaging here. This is how we've progressed here. Now, Nick Sander said he's been selling this. He ain't been doing that. He's been up there. He's been selling himself, because this is something I could do out there at Liquid Assets. Now, I get on that with that telestrator.
Get on the mic and just bust?
Watch out. Yeah. Watch out. We're talking football. I can't sing. I got the circles here to highlight 2 of the players that are going to have the biggest effect on this run play. This is a run play. The biggest tip I always say in run play is the running back depth, which isn't so noticeable, but it is here because he's opposite the tight end and he's in a tight end position. He's not flexed. He's at a regular position. He's trying to draw the depth of or widen the alignment of this defensive end. But you see this running back here, he's a little bit behind the quarterback at USC, right? It's 11 personnel. That's one back, one tight end. They're going to run essentially like a one back counter. Notre Dame does some something here that's in I'll get to be able to get in a little bit more depth when I could do a video on YouTube. Is they run it what I'll call a TT stunt, right? It's a tackle to tackle stunt, and you generally don't like to do it and be on the move if you know it's a run. But the way they run it in the discipline allows them to do it. So they go. A TT stunt is essentially this tackle comes down here, this other one comes here, it gets the alignment, and he comes back right here. And when it works out well like this, you make a lot of plays. If you want reference, the first year Tony White came in, Nash and Ty made a heyday off of this.
More often than not, was that Nash going pretty much straight and Ty looping, or they were pretty interchangeable?
And it was probably feel or game plan, but just you remember how many tackles for losses, and remember Nash was getting sacked, so you got a lot of free looks at the quarterback. And I think this is kind of what defenses are starting to do against majority spread teams now. Spread run, you know what I'm saying? I wouldn't say feast or famine, but a little bit more feast because they're more detailed with it, right? And you got to have really disciplined linebackers and defensive linemen to make it work. You see this right here. All these lines are man-to-man. So right there's no fair dodging, right? You got press man, a little bit off man, and then you have the safety free right here. So right now, it's
he's
on.
Pretty much head up over the running back.
Yeah, and it's on. But the linebacker has him. And so what it is right here, just let you know a little bit more about USC. This is a kind of a play it here. They're going to play it, right? They're going to. What I mean is there's no check. They're going right to it. They feel like they have the numbers in the box favorable to them, and they also feel like their running back, right, locked up against him in space, he can win. That's what it's telling you. Now, Notre Dame had something else on their mind here. So we go to the next one here, next slide, right? And I just drew up the blocking scheme. So if you see this, right, this tight end that was flexed, he's trying to come down and ear hole that linebacker. We have a really good other angle showing the eyes of the linebacker, but his pads are square. It's actually where you have to separate your head, your body, and your feet in order to make plays against these plays, right? And you got the puller here, right? He's going to kick out that defensive end. You got the running back doing a really good job, and this is also what you need to know. There's a difference between man and zone with pullers the way I was taught, right? Man-to-man, and you get a puller away from you or to you, you don't react as fast. You leverage the ball, not the block, right? Because you have to leverage. That is your guy, right? In this case, he's the guy with the ball. Right now, if he's flaring, doesn't matter what the puller is because you're going with him. So you leverage the ball, not the block. And he does a really good job there. He didn't even move and it's going there. Now he knows you got a safety here, you got a linebacker here, and you got late help there. But he knows he's backside. Plus, you see right here this white shoe. The game is on already, predetermined. Sometimes you read it. We'll ask Jason Peter about that. Sometimes you just go, let's play it, right? So that's the play. That's the anatomy of the play. It shows you what Notre Dame is going to do. Is another picture right here. So this is the end result. The handoff has been obviously handed. The running back is going to make his cut. Here's the kick out block of the defensive end, right? That's a burp right there, according to Vic Fangio. That means you knocked them back a little bit. And again, look at the patience of this linebacker right here, right? But there's the defensive lineman when he wrapped around. That's the other defensive end upfield, right? So watch the end result of this play here, which is actually pretty cool. We'll see it a little bit better. Here's the puller right here, right? But I wanted to take a look at his eyes right here. His eyes are seeing him out of his peripheral, which would be his left eye, and you're feeling him, right? He's not right here. Look at this right here. This is going to meet contact, right? Look at that foot. Stick it in the ground. Go get you some, right? Right here. He's not going to go and turn his pads. He's going to go and actually hit him essentially with his left pad so he doesn't get blown out. It makes this guy's job extremely easier. Look at this right here, right? leverage the ball, right?
Mm-hmm.
You don't overrun the ball. What you do sometimes, and I did this one time, we played Tampa Bay. I felt so bad. We played Tampa Bay, and Warwick Dunn was right there, and I read Puller in man. This is how I learned. You got to learn from mistakes now. I just kind of was just starting, making some plays. I did the ultimate sin. You want to hear this real quick?
I need to.
I was wearing number 55 at the time, and
Oof.
I was, yeah.
Off your game.
No, is that, look, when you get in there a rookie, I had a good number,
Okay,
okay. Right? And I made the team. And I was having a pretty good game to my standards.
Mm-hmm.
I'm just happy to be. So I'm out there woofing. And me and Henry Jones and Kenny Irvin hit Keyshawn. I'll just say I made his nose bleed, but his nose was bleeding. So you know who was over on the sidelines giving everybody the business, right? And a linebacker I really looked up to was Derek Brooks, just the way he plays. He's obviously a Hall of Famer.
Mm-hmm.
And I was looking at him, and I was like, I'm the real 55 out here.
Oh, no.
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
no.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. And then I proceeded to make a couple other plays, right? And so now we ran this defense, essentially zero coverage, selling out, try to stop the run. Puller, Jay Foreman, I have to go make this play because I think I'm in my Ray Lewis mode. I'm on the I was in the verge of being on the zone, where you're feeling good, everything's going good, right? I'm making plays in the pass game, couple pass breakups, all that.
One more play and you're there.
One more, right? I'll get to get on the phone, call. Yeah, first time, prime time, overran it. Warwick Dunn, crib, crib. Hey, Warwick Dunn, crib. I heard look. We were probably going to lose the game. We had to stop him from getting the first down. It was a lot of things that had to happen and get the ball back to the offense. Man, I heard about that all the time. Like, I lost the game. Dog, we've given up points left and right. But that was it. So, anyways, I want to highlight the patience of him. Leverage the block, leverage the ball. You see him right here? You back shoulder him. You see that right there? Really good job here by this linebacker, right? And now you see the win right here, right? By the first defensive tackle. You see this defensive tackle that eventually will loop over here. Look at him. He's engaging 77 and 74 here to get their attention. So essentially,
well, 50 or 56 is already tied up pretty heavily with
right.
that other
But
guy.
as he's going through the center, and watch when he comes in here, he's going to knock out all three of those guys. So I always talk about when you have the San Antonio Spurs basketball wise. The reason why their offense was legendary is because the guys that set the pick and roll, they just not only set the one guy, they knocked the other guys off. Watch what happens here in the next one when you see the damage that when you run these stunts with the intention, good things happen.
Before you move on to that next slide, just trying to put in layman's terms too, that safety on the right of the screen there is the guy that's just kind of looking for work. Right, he's down in the box. No one's really blocking him because he had the press corner in the slot and the off-man corner on the other side. So what USC is hoping for is that linebacker, like you said, follows the Puller, gets a little antsy. So then there's two guys with nothing to do, and there's green grass. Instead of that linebacker knowing that, hey, my safety is unoccupied over there. I know that he's essentially got my job on the other side.
Yeah, and also what USC is hoping is number 34 runs over top, and the running back gets it and hits it up the chute. So essentially, they're trying to play on these two linebackers. Really good job by Notre Dame. I think Javen Wright and Watson Trent and obviously Shavers, if they follow suit here, it's a good game for them against USC, a good opportunity, right? So this was the end result right here of it. Destruction. All right.
Carnage,
right? And look at this safety right here. You talking about playing deep coverage against them? That's what you want.
Mm-hmm.
Because if the quarterback keeps it, you're able to play top down as a safety. You're a safety net. So that's what happens when you're able just to not add guys to the run game and somebody wins, right? And so you do that by the game. And here is the one that I wanted to really show right here. Here's 47 coming around here. He actually hits him with 34, 9, and 4. All these guys get in and get you some, right? Look, okay, there's 34. I'm going to show you this right here. It's really good job by 34 linebacker. When I said you're going to hit him with your left shoulder pad and your pads are square, he can't block you. Matter of fact, it's a questionable hold right there, right? But he essentially ricocheted off of him, and it's straight on contact right here. When you see it in the video, it's pretty impressive, right? Knock him back right there. Look at that leverage. Knock him back on the Puller, right? And you got a free hitter, savior. Disciplined defense. They thought they were at an advantage. Notre Dame made it an advantage to them. And then also, like I mentioned before, when you come down and with the TT stunt, look at this. Let me get that back here. Okay. 1, 2, 3 USC helmets, all preoccupied by one. And everybody's going to look at 34, 47, 4, and I think this is 9 that made the play. This guy here made the play. That's the championship type of football that guys that went that you do, and you got to do against a team like USC. You got to play winning football. That's winning football right there. Everybody doing what they're supposed to do, and the most important or impressive thing is when he came around on the stunt. Let me get all the way back here. 47 came all the way around on the stunt here. Let me show you the best part about him, right? I talked about his pad square, right? Look at him. 285, 90 pounds, looking like a linebacker. You know, pad square, so he can make a play and be athletic.
Mm-hmm.
You can't just come around and run it wide, right? And he's probably been told why you can't do it, right? Number one, you're getting number 4's place. Number 2, you can't come so tight and have your pads tilted, and you can get washed down, and you'll get in his way, and then that dude will be hitting up in his alley right here, or in the outside right here, if we're a big game. So it's a really good job there by Notre Dame, and that's one run that they run all the time. They're running out of 12 personnel. They're running out of 11. They're running out of 12 personnel with the wing, or you'll have a tight end that starts in the slot and motions in. They'll go from balance 2x2 in 12, motion to 3x1, and run it. And so that's probably a play they're going to major against Nebraska. It's nickel defense, so somebody's got to win. And you might see what Nebraska might do, something like this in front of their game.
Do we assume that Nebraska would like Deshaun Singleton to be that safety that's crept down into the box?
Sure. Yeah. Yeah. I mean, why not? I mean, this is right with Nebraska. They have the same apples to apples personnel to do this. You got Javen Wright and Watson Trenton Shavers at linebacker. So that's the 2. So the three are the 2 guys. You got 4 defensive linemen, what they run in nickel, and then you got Singleton right there. Then you feel like, all right, we got Jones, obviously Sierre and Marshall got to handle their business, and you can have, I think, was it Guthrie
or Buford, one of the 2. Yeah.
That's what you want right there. It's winning football. It's a good call by Notre Dame, but better execution by the defense. That be a play, or actually really is a big win for Notre Dame, because this ended up being a tackle for loss. So USC had a huge negative play. Now let's look at this right here. This is USC passing game. What do you notice right here? Back offset to a receiver, the defender, I'm thinking pass. Because there's not anywhere you can't really run it out here with the numbers, right?
To the bottom side of the screen?
No, to the top side of the screen.
Sorry,
because I'm going to count 1, 2, 3, 1, let's say 2. We got them outnumbered, especially with the tilted nose over. You're not going to run it right here. Then over here, you got 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3. All right, you got them cornered here, right? So you're thinking big time pass. Now, what type of pass concept could they possibly do that we might have seen before, Austin?
Something levels based.
Yeah, this is levels. I call it levels, whatever you want to call it. They always have some name for it, right? We just kept things simple. That's why we were able to just kind of go level routes. And this is my drawing right here. So they run it a little bit different than Michigan, but you got the same type of QB. They took the running back, motioned him out of there. So now for real, with the running back motion out, it's run. Only thing you can get quarterback draw, but most likely not, right?
But at this point of the field, this point of the game,
you're
ball it
backed
off
up.
the checklist.
Sure, yeah. And you could get it. They'd probably know it, and it's up to the defensive line and the linebacker to handle it. All right, Notre Dame got it matched up. Number 1, they're seeing if you adjust to it. All right. Number 2, this is the levels route, right? It's they try to get a short route, medium route, and see if something they could take off top. So when you look at USC right here, when you watch this, and I play it on the video, this guy right here is literally running and not even looking at it. He's a running off. He's a clear out route. So what they're doing, and what I'll highlight, is they are RPOing off of, I think it's this guy here. I think one of these 2, and we'll see it in the next one. So whatever he does, they're going to do the opposite. And it's pretty interesting. What he must be reading the shoulders or whatever they're doing when you're seeing this right here. This is where it is right here. So it's an RPO with the running back coming back in. Again, levels route, right? Right here, safety to the flat. Right
Essentially
here.
that Michigan tight end that just kind of sat down right of the line of scrimmage.
But here's the Michigan. They do this right. Here's the backside guy, right? This was your boy Marcus Pollard one time when I had to kick him in his face. But they're reading this guy here, right? But how they're setting him up is it's RPO, so he's coming like he's gonna block him, but he does something sneaky. Doesn't even make any contact with him. He kind of almost ghost screens him in basketball. Goes up like I'm a set of screen, boom, pick and pop. It's really, and this is how he gets the ball, right? And because this Notre Dame defender was way too aggressive. He didn't get his hands on him. He looks like he's going to block, but he didn't get his hands on him. This quarterback is reading him right there. He sees any forward motion past this guy or forward movement past this guy, he's throwing it to him right here. He's just like a little sit-down route. And you'll see it right here. It's actually pretty interesting. So this is how they put stress on you. Hard RPO action, half roll, easy, right? What I said. Okay, give them this. Maybe give them this. Don't give them this money right here, right? Make them go to the second or third option. And when we go to the next one here, I said they were reading him. Look, he's up there because he took the cheese. I can tell another story about that. Did I tell you about that one? Hey, so we played the Jets one time, and we were running a little bit of a fire zone cover 4, and I was supposed to play deep to short. This was Richie Anderson right here. And this is Wayne Cabret, and they ran flat 7 cut, and it was 3rd and 3. I jumped this, threw it over there. I thought I was right, and Jerry Gray and Greg Williams commenced to cussing me out in front of the whole team.
Again.
But this one, but the GM was in there, and I was up for a contract.
Man.
Yeah. He was like, yeah, we get.
I wonder what that led to down the line.
Yeah, we got to get him out of there. But I came back at the New York and made the play, but he took the cheese. And once he saw him come up, look at this. He's already in the motion. You already know where he's going because you got the runoff right here. It takes away 2 defenders. Easy pitch and catch. Money for them. So they put you in stress when you look at it from last year to this year because they're more efficient and they attack the thirds better than they had last year. Now, obviously, they didn't really play that well. Obviously, the whole game against Notre Dame. But you see this right here. If there's one more, is that it?
That should be it.
Yeah, that was it. So expect that from them. Nothing's going on. I mean, you got a little bit of potentially the throwback right here. If they see from the, up there in the booth that this guy's running all the way over here, but more importantly, right here, this guy he has a safety net right here. Right here's the safety or the check down throw, which we had right, the emergency throw, the flat. This is the mid level. Top that's not even part of it. He's not even looking at it. Look at him. He's just running down the field. So this guy's open. This was an explosive play against Notre Dame where they test your principles and how much you will play it until the very end.
So then in that kind of middle layer of the defense, right, you mentioned that safety valve. The linebacker in the very middle of the screen is responsible for him until he keeps running. Then does he pass him off? Because it seems like there's 2 guys because there's a guy by the numbers and a guy on the hash. So the guy that's on the number should have that first
he'll just chase him, and this is where the communication during the play has to be good. And he's got to kind of come down and take him.
But then that leaves no one because that safety bit there in the middle of the field.
Right.
Because that was his responsibility.
Right, but this guy should have stayed on here. This defender should have stayed on this guy, and you like to rally up to that one. The longer he holds the ball, the more that he can chase. And then this corner or whatever he is can play top down. And look at it. It's, 1st and 10? Okay, you just gave up a 30-yard pass. You can give them 8. We'll live to fight another down. We don't want to give up explosive plays because if you get it, let me see, the ball probably was snapped at the 25?
Yeah.
And they get here. Okay, now you're expecting take a shot within a couple plays, or if they get another first down, we are in, red alert zone, right? And it is pre-red zone. I think the red zone is expanded from the 20 all the way out to the 30 now with the way they run, offensive plays and how aggressive they are. So, USC, that's what they're going to do. That's what you're going to expect. They'll try to get, and this is an easy pass concept for them to run. And also, more importantly, you got to think it keeps the defensive line from pinning their ears back because they're able to get the short corner. He's an athletic core. He has a ton of athletic ability. It gives them angles to block right here. They don't expect to run down from there. So it's a play that you can go to on the road. They're at Notre Dame. Crowd is not going to be nearly what it is, Saturday night. The point of this play is to look at what you can expect to see from USC to try to attack Nebraska. And then, obviously Nebraska, they'll be well prepared for it. But that is a hard play to defend, though. I've been both of these guys. I've been him, and I've been obviously him. And really how he plays, right? The guy that made the mistake should be alerted by that middle linebacker. It's alert for it because I'm going to get back to, let's see if I can get back to the original formation. Original formation, right? Okay. And then, wait, where is it?
Should be one more.
One more. Okay, the original formation. I would ask you this. Doesn't matter, okay, whether he's in the dot back or not. He's offset. You got to offset back. Okay. The hardest route to take care of is reading number 3 to number 2 for this guy and this guy. Take number 1. Generally in cover 4, take this guy out or the outside defender. That's the hard. You talk about stress. I'm stressed talking about it right now because that's hard to do because I have to play and not be influenced, by 3 and overrun it. And I have to cover somebody that's not even really getting their progress impeded off the line of scrimmage. So it needed to be alerted by this guy here to make his job a little bit easier. But Notre Dame obviously played pretty well at times during defense, but that was a play that you can expect, or a concept maybe that Notre Dame might try to bring out to Nebraska because it's safe. It allows the quarterback to get out on the edges and make an easy decision. Read one guy. If not, dump it off. We'll get a positive game.
Over the next, we'll call it, say, 70 hours. We'll kick off in about a little over 72 hours. Who are the guys that if you're Nebraska, or you're telling Nebraska, hey, study your playbook, they're coming at you with this? Who are the kind of key guys you think USC goes after?
I think they're equal opportunities. They went
they're
after.
can man.
Yeah, they were can. They'll go after anybody. Over the time of Lincoln Riley, once something's going, he kind of keeps going back to it. But I just think the biggest thing Nebraska can do is really dive into the game plan and look at every scenario, be really Trump tight with their communication and fundamentals, and everything will work itself out. So, because they pass outside, they pass inside. I think they got 2 NFL tight ends. They got 2 running backs. Obviously, if both of them are healthy, that can tote it. You got a quarterback that's emerging and 3 receivers. So it's like you got to go get it. So it's good on good, best on best, and hopefully Nebraska's best is better than their best come Saturday night. So that was Whiteboard Wednesday. We're going to take a quick break, come back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Old School. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Hi, everybody. Charlie Stone back again with Andy Goodyear of Honda of Lincoln. Andy, there are so many great things to talk about right now. Let's start with new and pre-owned vehicles.
Thanks, Charlie. Yeah, we're all excited those days of inventory shortages are behind us. Right now, we have more than 400 new Hondas to choose from and over 125 pre-owned with just about any make or model in stock.
I know certified pre-owned Hondas are a very important part of your dealership. Tell us about certified, Andy.
We always have a great selection of certified pre-owned Hondas in stock in like new condition, and they also come with a 7-year, 100,000-mile warranty.
How about service?
Our amazing service department not only services Hondas, but we service just about any make, and we are one of the largest tire dealers in the state. Look us up the next time you need tires on your car.
Experience the best at the Honda of Lincoln way of doing business, 27th and Yankee Hill Road, or online at hondaoflincoln.com.
I've got some great news for you. Coppell Chevrolet GMC is proud to be the #1 fastest growing GMC dealer in the Omaha and Lincoln metros. Coppell is also celebrating its 50th anniversary. We want to say thank you to all of our customers that have helped us reach these milestones. So come see why so many customers, including myself, are choosing Coppell Chevrolet GMC for their automotive needs. Please check us out at coppellcars.com.
Ryan, with all this red and all these people around, I'm still not seeing the tailgate.
Todd Spidell, former body shop owner, terrible driver.
We're getting close. Now, did you know with 3 locations in Lincoln and hundreds of years of combined technician experience, we can get Husker fans back on the road even quicker and safer after their tailgate mishaps? Oh, Todd, turn left right here.
Left or right?
Left, right here.
Right?
Well, you wait for the tow truck. I'm getting a hot dog.
Well, I guess while I'm waiting. All right! Most recommended! Eustace Body Shop!
Woohoo! Dude, you should be on American Idol.
You really think so?
No.
Accidents happen, even to Husker fans. If it happens to you, call Eustace Body Shop, where our customers send their friends.
The most recommended Eustace Body Shop. That's who we are.
When it comes to keeping your equipment running, you've got options at Landmark Implement. Whether you need premium John Deere parts or a more economical solution, A&I parts from Landmark deliver the dependable performance you can count on with cost savings up to 40%. From filters and bearings to belts and everyday repairs, A&I parts are built to work as hard as you do while helping stretch your budget further. Stop by your local Landmark Implement parts counter today or shop online anytime at shop.deere.com and experience the Landmark difference.
Rick Heyman here from Sartor Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sartor Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sartorheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
That's right. Welcome back in. It is Old School here on The Ticket, 402-464-5685. If you want to be a part of the show, you sure can. We, though, are headed to our Allo Fiber VIP line. Allo Fiber is where they understand the importance of exceptional service with local heart. We bring in from the Omaha World Herald, Mr. Evan Bland. Evan, a happy Wednesday afternoon to you. It's getting chillier. Is it officially football weather, or have we been in football weather for a while?
Well, I think it's getting rainier. So, it's getting a little bit closer. The leaves are falling and changing, and, we got Halloween coming up this weekend, so I'm there. So, I think we're there.
Real fall classic weather as well. Before we start talking football and football weather, we got to talk some baseball. We are through 4 games of the World Series, and now it's down to a best of 3, not just a best of 7. Couple really dramatic games so far in the series. Of course, the dramatic 18-inning win for the Dodgers a couple nights ago. That sparked a discussion between you, your coworker Wilson Moore, and I at our press conferences yesterday about the intentional walk. So first of all, let's just start with Shohei Ohtani and the fact he didn't get out for 13 consecutive plate appearances at home, in them homer, double, before 4 consecutive intentional walks issued by the Toronto Blue Jays to the best player on the planet right now. Evan, do you like the strategy from Toronto in just putting Shohei Ohtani on base without pitching to him at all for 4 consecutive at-bats?
I like the strategy, yeah. I mean, if you're in Toronto's dugout, like you probably don't want the best player in the world to beat you. So if you can put him on and take your chances with some other guys who are also extremely elite, that's probably what I would do. It's probably a good strategy. I don't know that it's the best for ratings and for the general fans who show up and want to see Ohtani bat in these moments and to see that level of talent on display. But I mean, he's on an all-time heater at this point, had arguably the best game in Major League Baseball history in the last round when he struck out 10 over 6 scoreless and a bunch of home runs, 4 home runs, wasn't it? And so he's doing things that just haven't been done ever in the modern era. But that's, I guess that's kind of where you are right now. If you're Toronto, like that's the guy that you don't want to beat you, make somebody else do it. If you're a fan or a television executive, man, you want to have rules that incentivize teams to pitch to these people and pitch to that kind of talent and challenge them. So that's kind of where we are right now. I don't know that it's been diminished too much. I think his greatness is on full display right now, and it'll be interesting to see what he has in store for these next 2 or 3 games.
I like the idea that was put out there by Mike Petriello, who's a writer for MLB.com, about every time you intentionally walk a player, essentially they get another base. But I think that would be more appealing maybe maybe more confusing as well for just a casual fan who's tuning in, doesn't maybe know much about the game of baseball. Because, yeah, I think everyone would want to see Shohei Ohtani swing the bat off the heater like you're talking about. But, Evan, there's something about being intentionally walked. That's a mind game. Yes, with the hitter, but that is such an immense sign of respect that even if you just know some surface level of baseball, sure, you get the strategy. If you have first base open and 1 out, you may as well just put the person on and see if you can't get the ground ball double play, among other situations. But when you have a player like that, the intentional walk is really the ultimate sign of there's no way in the world we're going to risk messing with this guy. So as boring as it is to just hold up the 4 and let him trot down to first base, I think you just have to admit that, yeah, that's just the ultimate sign of respect in baseball. So as much as it stinks you don't get a watch, you have to understand the significance behind giving someone a free base, which is hard to come by in baseball.
Yeah, you don't see it a lot. You think about the Barry Bonds treatment from the mid-2000s, and teams have really gone away from that. I mean, heck, we're old enough to remember when you had to throw 4 pitches out of the zone to have the intentional walk. And sometimes silly things would happen with that. So I kind of miss that personally, but I get why they went away from that. And I mean, it would be interesting to see if you go a different direction, kind of the rule change that you proposed. Like if you the first intentional walk, you get 1 base, the second one you get 2. And yeah, I can't imagine many teams, if any, pulling something off or wanting to go down that road at that point. So yeah, I will say that I do think some of the rule changes that Major League Baseball has enacted in recent years have actually hit pretty well. I think people are fans generally of the pitch clock. I think they're fans of the bigger bases and the increase in steal attempts that have gone with that. The quick intentional walk thing probably is for the best. It's shortened games and things like that. So I don't know that there's any real traction for it, but I'd certainly listen to it if it were to happen, if it meant more at-bats from some of these best hitters in the world right now.
The Blue Jays also took some of the better hitters in their lineup out throughout that marathon of a game. And that's another one, Evan, where some of the reaction that I saw was, well, why would John Schneider handicap himself? Why would he, play with one hand tied behind his back? All those good analogies. But I think it makes sense with how long that game went on. George Springer going down with an injury is one thing. You had to end up replacing him. So Ty France gets a couple at bats, and then Davis Schneider comes in. But in Bo Bichette coming back from an injury recently as well. But I'm less upset with John Schneider than maybe Blue Jays fans were after that one, because especially once that game got down to the 9th inning and beyond, yeah, it was easier for Toronto to not just have to play for 1 run, but really in extras, that's a lot of the times what you need. So I kind of get John Schneider playing the matchups to the degree that he did. Did you like all the moves that he made, or at least the number of them? Or do you think he should have just sat back and, let his better players, the ones he started the game with, have more of those opportunities as that game went on?
Yeah, I have no problem with it. I think if you're into the 8th and the 9th inning and you're going into extras and you don't have ghost runners on second, like you're starting from scratch every half inning, like you have to, like, you're not going into that moment expecting the game to go 18 innings. Like you're expecting it to potentially end at any time. And so you need to maximize your moments. And so if that means, setting up the optimal righty-lefty matchups out of the bullpen or pinch running and getting a guy on base who can score from second with a single versus maybe a guy who doesn't give you as much of a chance to do that. Like, I think you give yourself the best chance to win in the moment, and then you figure it out later. And again, like, if the game ended after 11 or 12 innings and the Dodgers win, I don't know that he gets nearly the criticism, but because the Toronto defense and bullpen did its job and kept LA scoreless, that magnifies some of the offensive shortcomings that came about on the other end. So I think if you're Toronto, that gives you the best chance. It didn't work out in that particular game, but I think it's one of those examples of, the process isn't wrong just because the result didn't play out in that particular instance. So I would have done that sort of thing. And I'm guessing that even though they lost that game, he wouldn't change his approach if it were to come up again.
So now that we're down to a best of 3 series, Evan, who do you have? Can the Blue Jays or the Dodgers win 2 games before their opponent? Who you got?
Well, I can't root for the Dodgers just because of the money piece. I mean, who would have thought that Toronto would be America's team in the World Series? Like, that's kind of funny how that turns out. So my heart says Toronto, but my head probably does say the Dodgers, just with the starting pitching that they have. There's so many guys in the lineup that can beat you. Vladimir Guerrero Jr. said one of the best postseasons we've seen in recent memory, but the Dodgers just have more guys who can do it on a night in, night out basis. I think their bullpen's probably underperformed. Generally speaking, has a little bit more in it as well. So I hate to say it, I think the Dodgers probably will be the favorites at this point.
The scrappy underdog 1 seed Toronto Blue Jays over the mighty 93 win 3 seed Los Angeles Dodgers. Just a funny collection of words. Let's turn our attention to Husker football now, Evan. A pivotal month of November, I think, in a lot of ways for this Nebraska program. 0-4 in year 1 under Matt Rule in November. 1-3 last year to get to bowl eligibility, and now USC, UCLA, Penn State, and Iowa looming. How important in your mind is it for Nebraska to take at least another step forward and get to a 500 record in November for this program here in year 3 under Matt Rule?
I think it would be absolutely another thing that you would point to and indicate that progress is going on in the program for sure. And it's not just arbitrarily saying, I hope you can win in November, but it would mean you beat UCLA potentially, which took a big step back against Indiana last week. And it would mean, potentially going to Penn State, which also has an interim coach right now, and finding a way to win that, and or beating Iowa in Lincoln on Black Friday. So, and that's assuming you don't beat USC. So I think it's reasonable that would play out that way. And I think, ultimately, if they go 2-2 in the month of November, they end up 8-4, which is where I think a lot of people, including myself, pegged them to be before the season started. So, whether if they win on Saturday, if they find a way as the underdog to pull it out, then I think you're talking about 9 wins potentially, and the CFP talk picks up just a little bit more. If you were a 7-2 Big Ten team, like that's a thing that would be real, and it's very much like the Michigan game from earlier in the year, where it's one where this is one of those few chances Nebraska has to change the national perception, and not just people that follow it locally, but just from a national perspective. If Nebraska were to beat the Trojans for the first time in their history, by the way, like that's the kind of thing that gets attention and stays with people. Obviously, it would mean beating a ranked team and ending that 28-game, 9-year drought. So that's another major mile marker that's at stake if they are able to pull that thing out. So the circumstances line up favorably in some ways in terms of it being a home game and the crowd atmosphere and night kickoff and all the rest. They've got to go out and do it. So it's a major chance. They're probably not favored, certainly not by Las Vegas, but it's a big chance to go and sort of bring a recalibration to what people think of the program.
That's where I was going to go next, because obviously there's a lot on the table. I got a couple people texting in, asking what happens if Nebraska wins out in November. And that to me, Evan, is just kind of beyond the pale right now. I just don't think that Nebraska has played consistently well enough to put going undefeated on the table. Now, of course, since they haven't played the games, of course it's possible. But that's why I kind of threw 2-2 out there as kind of my personal target, and what I would, say for Husker fans would be a step forward. I think even 3-1 would be a pretty impressive month of November. 1-3 would be pretty unpalatable. I don't know what Nebraska's 2 wins are in the month of November. I just don't know if I've seen enough from this program to say that it can get to 9 or 10. But man, if you're the program you say you are, I think 8's at least got to be within arm's reach, and it shouldn't be a shock. It shouldn't be huge reason for celebration either. But I think anything less than 2 wins would feel like another bit of a thud ending to a year.
Yeah, I mean, if you finish 7-5 in the regular season, it probably depends what that last win is. I mean, if it's like you could beat USC, but if you end the regular season on a 3-game losing skid, like what is the vibe in that moment like versus say you beat Iowa at the end to end a 3-game losing skid? So like, I think where it falls in the order and who it comes up against does make a difference in that scenario. But I mean, I agree. Like you just had a 6-6 season, 7-5. While technically progress probably leaves you a little bit wanting, especially considering the opportunity that the schedule put out there. Not that it was an easy schedule, but it certainly appears to be more lenient than what they're going to have in some of these future years with the top of the Big Ten. So I think that's kind of where it is you just feel like there's an opportunity out there. And while Nebraska hasn't earned full trust, maybe in that it's going to be ready to go based on what happened at Minnesota, I think they showed enough against Northwestern. There's enough talent on that roster to suggest that that they should be in every game. There's no reason for them to get run off the field in any of these games. So how comfortable are they in these close moments? Does the ball bounce their way a few more times? It certainly hasn't through the years. And it's, I think if nothing else, it's the fact that you're into November and you could still have a special season tells you how far this program's come.
The numbers that Jay Foreman and I were talking about a little bit earlier on the show ended up with the giveaway numbers for Nebraska. 12 turnovers in 4 November games 2 seasons ago. They did cut it down last year down to 7. And sometimes football is just that simple. The 3 games that Nebraska turned the ball over twice, it lost. They turned it over once against Wisconsin. They ended up winning by 19. Not a 1-to-1 relationship by any means. But Evan, I think that it is, as always, simple, basic football analysis, important for Nebraska to not give the ball away. But is it more important for Nebraska to hold on to the ball and avoid giveaways, or create takeaways for Nebraska to win a couple games here in November?
Well, I think sometimes that question comes down to what do you have on offense? Like if you're really struggling on offense, then you need those takeaways to generate points. I think Nebraska is more on the other side of it, where you feel like the offense it can be explosive. You've seen Isaiah Hunter pop some big ones, and you've seen what Emmett Johnson can do. So I don't know that they need those takeaways. Certainly they would help, but I would start it on the other side and say, protect the ball, protect your quarterback, run Emmett Johnson, play the field position game, because you do have an offense that can put up some chunk yards and explosive plays, and you have a special teams group that's proven week in and week out that it's got a big play in it, whether that's a block punt or a punt return or a kickoff return. So I think you limit what you give the other team. Trust your defense to play it straight up. You still have a top 2 passing defense in the country. You figure things out in the run game. John Butler's been more aggressive as a play caller. So you feel like you've seen them, hold opponents. We certainly saw them hold Northwestern there late. So that's what I'm doing. Not that you're going to go conservative offensively, because I think you still need to be explosive and find a way to get the ball to your playmakers aggressively. But to me, it's cutting down on those giveaways and then relying on your talent and the other units to do what they've been doing.
All that in mind, in your opinion, Evan, what is the most likely outcome for Nebraska in November over these next 4 games? Where do you think Nebraska finishes the regular season when we look back in about a month?
I mean, I think 2-2 is is realistic. I said 8-4 before the year. It seems like it's still on track to be that. Which two those games are, who knows? I think UCLA is probably the most likely, just given their situation, and it'll be interesting how they bounce back from Indiana, like I mentioned. But other than that, they hang with Iowa every year. That's a coin flip. USC, I think it just would take a play or two to switch things around, and then who knows what that atmosphere is going to be like at Penn State in a few weeks, and kind of where their headspace is and their coaching search, and if there's any clarity on Nebraska's end about Matt Rule. So it's really hard to say, but it does feel like 2-2 seems like the place you want to start. And then if you really feel like things go well and you want to think big, you can go from there.
There you go. It's Evan Bland of the Omaha World Herald with us on our Allo Fiber VIP line. Evan, as always, appreciate your time here on a Wednesday afternoon. We'll see you around here at the end of the week.
Thanks, Austin. See ya.
Once again, Evan joined us on our VIP line, brought to you by Allo Fiber. Allo Fiber, the official internet provider of Nebraska athletics. We'll go to break, wrap up hour 2 of Old School. Jason Peter on his way in. A fun hour ahead with Jay Foreman and Jason Peter. A couple of former Black Shirts in the house. That'll be hour 3. Short segment, wrap up hour 2 in just a sec.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Are you looking for an exciting new way to put your skills to work? Explore new career options in the fintech industry at Currency, a Sandhills global company. We offer full-time positions in financial sales, compliance, operations, and other fields. We also offer a 4.5-day work week, an attractive benefits package, and opportunities for advancement. Put your motivation to work and grow with us at Currency. Visit gocurrency.com/careers to learn more.
Love Omaha is now Love Nebraska. This is more than just a new name. It's a tribute to what Nebraska represents in the world of volleyball. It's still the same team with the same mission, led by players you know and love. Now backed by a new ownership group led by Jordan Larson. As Love Nebraska, they're entering an exciting new chapter, pushing for a championship title in 2026 and building new opportunities for the next generation of players across the state. They want you with them. Let's show the world how Nebraska plays volleyball. Join the movement at lovneb.com and sign up to become a Love Nebraska insider today.
Rick Heyman here from Sauter Heyman Jewelers. I want to personally thank our great customers for voting us once again the best of Lincoln. At the same time, we're celebrating our 120th year in business in the great state of Nebraska. You can count on Sauter Heyman for the very best quality, value, and customer service. When it comes to your jewelry needs, visit us at South Point, Grand Island, and the Outlet in downtown Lincoln. Visit us today at sauterheyman.com, and thank you for your continued trust after all these years.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Big news, Nebraska. Love Omaha is now Love Nebraska. This is more than just a new name. It's a tribute to what Nebraska represents in the world of volleyball. It's still the same team with the same mission, led by players you know and love. Now backed by a new ownership group led by Jordan Larson. As Love Nebraska, they're entering an exciting new chapter, pushing for a championship title in 2026 and building new opportunities for the next generation of players across the state. They want you with them. Let's show the world how Nebraska plays volleyball. Join the movement at lovneb.com and sign up to become a Love Nebraska insider today.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
Concrete Industries has immediate job openings for precast production laborers and maintenance technicians. Concrete Industries offers great pay, health benefits, 401k, a wellness program, holidays, and paid time off. Apply today to earn a starting pay of $21.50 per hour plus a $1,500 hiring bonus. Concrete Industries is hiring all experience levels and offers on-the-job training. Start your career today as a precast production laborer or maintenance technician. Visit concreteindustries.com.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time. Savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
When it comes to keeping your equipment running, you've got options at Landmark Implement. Whether you need premium John Deere parts or a more economical solution, A&I parts from Landmark deliver the dependable performance you can count on with cost savings up to 40%. From filters and bearings to belts and everyday repairs, A&I parts are built to work as hard as you do while helping stretch your budget further. Stop by your local Landmark Implement parts counter today or shop online anytime at shop.deere.com and experience the Landmark difference.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
We're back.
We're back.
Yeah, we're back.
Fixing the cameras. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman. This final segment brought to you by Love Volleyball Nebraska. Some quick NFL news to get to here, Jay. Big time money for one of the premier young edge rushers in the NFL. Aiden Hutchinson gets a deal, 4 years, $180 million, $141 guaranteed.
Yeah.
Pretty good for that young fella.
It is. And he what, number 2 in the draft? Right? Yeah.
Believe so, yes.
Yeah, good for him. I mean, he had a pretty gruesome injury there. Came back like a champ. I think he's got 6 or 7 sacks right now, 29 pressures. And there was talk of him potentially getting back for the playoff run last year, maybe if they won a game or two more.
Mm-hmm.
And, he fits Detroit. He was a number 2 pick. He was worth it. He's an ascending player. He's the real deal. And he seems to be getting better. He's one of those guys. I mean, he was dominant his last year at Michigan, but he's really taken off in Detroit.
Other contracts on the books for Detroit: Jared Goff making $53 million a year. Aiden Hutchinson now becomes the second highest paid player on an average annual value basis at $45 million. And Amon-Ra St. Brown also making 30 and change over that. Penei Sewell, Aleem McNeil, did not realize he was making 24 and a quarter a year, but he's been pretty good for them, pretty worth it. Then you have Kirby Joseph, Jameson Williams, and Taylor Decker, the other players, all making $20 million a year for Detroit.
Yeah, I mean, Detroit's taking. The one thing about Detroit, they've developed their players, and obviously some of those guys have went through some hard times, but they reward guys that continue to produce. I mean, playing for Dan Campbell is not easy. He's tough, definitely physically demanding at times, I'm sure, in training camp more than other places, but it pays off, and, Aiden Hutchinson has definitely gotten paid. So he's the quarterback of the defense.
Mm-hmm.
And
from the first level.
Yeah, rightfully so. So congrats to him.
Good for that dude.
Yeah.
He still cheated at Michigan, but
he'd tell you it's worth it. He got a national championship out of it, right?
Shoo.
And he got paid. He went number 2.
Did
he not?
He wouldn't have been there.
So
there's the year after,
right?
right? Yeah, it's the year after he left.
Yeah, that's right. That's because he was distraught about that. But
yeah,
look, he was part that laid the foundation down.
Mm-hmm. Because it was him that he cheated the screen to Ramir, wasn't it? Yeah. You always highlight that
he
one.
Just ran over there. Yeah, he knew where it was coming. I mean, I guess Nebraska possibly could have tipped the whole team to go over there, but it was a great scouting report there. Speaking of scouting report, so good for him. Look, he's lived up to everything that billed, and maybe then some as number 2 pick, and He's
got
gonna
paid
be,
for it.
He's going to be in Detroit for the foreseeable future.
We're going to be in Old School for the next hour. Special guest coming up, Jason Peter. A couple black shirts in the house. Look forward to that coming up next year on the show.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
At Fairway Meat Market, you're family. And as part of the family, they want to save you money on your meat and groceries. Now, through November 2nd, enjoy USDA Choice 8-ounce bacon wrapped sirloins for $5.99 each. And fresh cut chicken wings, $2.99 per pound. Plus, on Friday and Saturday, enjoy a 2-day sale of USDA Choice rump roast, $5.88 per pound, and farmland bacon, $4.99 per 16-ounce package. That's all at Fairway Meat Market in the Rockledge Square Shopping Center, just south of 84th and Van Dorn.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schweizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
93.7 The Ticket, Fox, KFXL weather. Brought to you by Bryant Air Conditioning, Heating, Electrical, and Plumbing.
The Lincoln forecast for today, we'll see partly sunny skies and it will be windy. Afternoon high around 53. Tonight, mainly clear skies with light winds. A low around 33. And tomorrow, widespread frost in the morning. Otherwise, mainly sunny with a light breeze. A high near 59. I'm meteorologist Kyle Fleck from 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
When it comes to keeping your equipment running, you've got options at Landmark Implement. Whether you need premium John Deere parts or a more economical solution, A&I Parts from Landmark deliver the dependable performance you can count on with cost savings up to 40%. From filters and bearings to belts and everyday repairs, A&I Parts are built to work as hard as you do while helping stretch your budget further. Stop by your local Landmark Implement parts counter today or shop online anytime at shop.deere.com and experience the Landmark difference.
This is Lincoln's home for sports talk on the FM dial. Also online at theticketfm.com.
On the internet.
KNTK FM Firth, 93.7 The Ticket.
Celebrate Halloween with the Lincoln Stars a day early on Thursday, October 30th, as the Stars host the Sioux City Musketeers. Wear your favorite costume to the game, as there's a contest for both adults and kids with prizes for both age levels. Also, it's a Chuck-a-Puck night, and TBR beers are 2 for $6. It's Halloween Eve at the Icebox on Thursday, October 30th versus the Sioux City Musketeers. Get your tickets today at LincolnStars.com.
At Valentino's, we're on a mission for tradition. On every slice, for every bite. Golden baked crust, cooked to perfection every time.
savory sweet sauce that's made from our own secret recipe. Loaded with the perfect amount of fresh toppings and melty mozzarella cheese. It's the tradition that Nebraskans have come to love. From game day to every day. Valentino's. Taste the tradition.
For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
Coming at you live from the heart of Lincoln, America. This is Old School, sponsored by the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. Nebraska Football Hall of Famer Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Well, we're back. Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Jason Peters on his way. A little bit stuck via the multiple road assignments in Lincoln.
As we heard yesterday, more to come.
Really?
Oh, yeah. From Todd Ogden.
They're going to do more construction?
Right here on O Street, in fact. So, should be an exciting project. I mean, not like it isn't necessary or anything, but still going to be more construction.
Listen,
just what Lincoln needs.
The construction in Lincoln is not necessary. It's just not. You need to just table that the next year. But we got Jason Peter in for the last hour, Old School. A little bit of brisk out there, man.
I mean, I'm not going to curse. WTF Lincoln.
Yeah.
I mean, are you kidding me? You can't get downtown on any of the streets that
right from where we come from. Yeah. See?
I mean, everything is under construction. Is this the mayor? Is this that California mayor that we have? Huh? I mean, give me a break.
Hey,
in football season, you had all summer to do it.
See, Austin thought I was playing, Jason, when I used to tell him it's extra 15, 20 minutes. But speaking of California, one of our favorite friends that used to play baseball out there, before we get into football, our buddy Darren Erstad, for a punter, talks a lot of junk. All right. In everything. In ping pong. He's the greatest. He's the greatest former athlete in Lincoln after 50 or after 45. You know, he bikes and all this stuff. We got Tristan back there. He's a former baseball player. He knows. He's probably heard about Erstad. But what was it, Friday?
Yeah.
Was it Friday?
Yeah. Before the game.
Yeah, before the game. Tell everybody what happened to Mr. Erstad.
We just had to let him know that football is on top of the pecking order between football players and baseball players, especially when it comes then to alternate sports. Now, Erstad, he likes to talk a lot of junk on his golf. Let's just say they were an offer throughout 18 holes. Didn't win one hole. Not one. Not one.
Austin.
Straight up.
ZERO, not one.
No handicap. No nothing. Just straight up. Demolished them.
Demolished them. 0 wins. 0.
Dang.
Yeah. 0. That I guarantee you, knowing Erstad, he probably ain't even slept since.
It wasn't 5 minutes till we got off the course, and then just hanging around. He moved the goalpost. Then it became hockey. Then it was you can't take me in hockey. I said, Darren, you go into the corner, you're not coming out. All right. Yeah. I go, I didn't just, I've played hockey just like you since we were little kids, and I know he's a great hockey player too.
Yeah,
but
he still plays hockey, but maybe we send him to full-time dad hockey, got him off the golf course.
What we should do is maybe we'll purchase like a little golf camp he could go to work on his game.
Yeah. We got to get him a little, send him off and start him with like a Dave Pells. We need to send him to Dave Pells. I hope Erstad's listening to his boy Duke, man. That two lefties. Hey, Austin, we beat the two lefties so bad they wanted to start. They wanted to play righty after that.
I am a lefty.
You are?
I would have been.
But you wouldn't
have
gone you wouldn't have went over. They did.
You've never seen me golf, and that's for a reason.
But
number one, I'm not cool enough to get the invite. Number two, you would disown me.
You would fit right in with them. They got owned, but speaking of owning, Jason, I mean, obviously Nebraska was able to get through Northwestern. Now you have some familiarity with USC. Well, at one point in time, living out there in California, everybody's talking about the weather. You know more than anybody. Talk about how California kids potentially could be affected by, I don't know, mid-40s weather coming out here, and the state of USC program coming here as well.
Yeah, I think it's a challenge for them to come out here, especially if it's cold. They're calling for what, like 40s, maybe even upper 30s at some point in the game. Wind. I always thought with the kids that I coached out there, especially the big kids, I think there was a softness to them.
Yeah.
So can't say, that about every kid, just the ones that came across, when I was out there on the field. Obviously there's been a ton of California kids that have been successful, whether cold weather or warm weather, but when you're not used to it and you got to go out there for the first time or second time, it becomes a challenge, without question. I mean, it's no different, right, than the what people perceived when we would go down to Florida, right? But obviously Coach Osborne, it's, I'm going to run you pretty much till you die in practice to make sure that we are conditioned no matter what the temperature is. But there were times, I remember Arizona State being out there.
It was hot. Yeah.
It was like, I mean, we played that game late at night and it was still like 90, 95, 100 degrees out there. So it without question can have impact. That's why everyone always talks about, being able to, which is great this day and age, if you're good enough and you get in that college football playoff and you can have teams then come into Lincoln in December. Oh yeah, what an advantage. But yeah, hopefully with the cold weather that will help us.
And what do you think the Nebraska do? I mean, you've seen a little bit of USC, Lincoln Riley. We were down there a few years ago. So it's pretty much the same offense. I mean, obviously a really good quarterback and receivers. Talk about from a D-lineman's perspective, how important it is to dominate the game against that Lincoln Riley, spread offense.
Yeah, I mean this game will be won. I mean, like all games, right? They're won front seven on defense, offensive line.
Right.
The physicality. The team that's most physical will probably end up, coming out victorious on this one. Especially with that weather, you're gonna have to run the ball. That's a misconception, I think, with Lincoln Riley's offense, is that they're just kind of slinging it all over the place. But the reality is they want to run the football, and they've been effective at it, even with the the injuries that they've had at running back. They've still been able to plug in 3 or 4 different guys and still have success. So, I mean, the defensive line is going to have to do a great job of maintaining their ground in there, shutting down the run, keeping this quarterback in containment, right? I mean, he doesn't want to run necessarily, but when he runs, he can run. So they're going to have to be sharp. They're going to have to be locked in. They're going to have to be fundamentally sound. They're going to have to tackle well. We've been, at tackling this year. So we need to somehow get that together. But yeah, it's going to be a test.
They run for their run plays, obviously RPO, and that's just one thing. But in their like basic, or I call conventional run plays, they do run a lot of gap, right? So they got linemen that can pull. Talk about that from you're preparing for that type of game. Talk about how much stress that could put on you as a D lineman, but then how do you counteract that and play well against guys? Is it pre-snap reads, getting in the hip pocket? Talk about what the defensive line needs to do to play well against that type of run attack.
Yeah, anytime you have an offense that likes to pull guys, you got to get off on the ball, right? You gotta you can't sit there and wait. Obviously, if there's a weak link or two within the offensive line that maybe is giving tips away, whether run, pass, whatever it may be. A lot of these guys, the big guys, they kind of want to lean back a little bit if they're going to pull. The guy next to him may have more weight on his fingers.
Yeah.
These are things that you got to pick up. Now, do you pick up on those things when you haven't had a ton of success, when you're just kind of fighting to stay alive out there like our guys have? I don't know if they've gotten to that point where they're so confident in what they're supposed to be doing that now you can look for additional tips and stuff like that. That remains to be seen whether or not. But yeah, anytime you have a line that likes movement and likes to get guys pulling around the outside and up inside, whatever it may be, you got to be able to get off the ball. If you can, you just get in the hip pocket of the guy that's pulling and, grab onto that jersey, let him pull you through there and then ultimately make the play. But, the guys that are on the opposite side of where they're pulling, now those guys, now it's time to see, what you're made of,
right?
Because when you got 200-300-pound plus guys that are coming on counter and you're that defensive end, you can't just stand there and wait for those guys to get out to you. You got to go down there and blow that up, just maybe after it gets past the center,
right?
Yeah.
We saw that play where the DN, and once he saw the tight end block down, I mean, he rocked the guard.
Yeah.
One thing that I saw from Notre Dame that was interesting, and we saw this, I was talking to Austin a lot with Ty and Nash and Tony White's first year, where they would run, tie down, TT stunt. And I think that's emerged now against spread offenses. But talk about the importance when you're the looper. Because remember last time we were down in Oklahoma, the looper, forget who it was, number 97, went too wide, and Caleb, they hit it up there. Talk about the importance of, looping tight and then keeping your pad square to be effective against the run.
So to start with, anytime you have like a tackle or nose stun on, and when I say tackle or nose, it's just, whether the tackle's going first or the nose is going first, but the other guy is looping. Number one, you got to recognize before you loop, if you're the looper, you got to recognize if you have hard action coming your way, then it's off. The stunt's got to be off, right? Like you got to maintain, if you're lined up in a 2 technique or even a 3 technique, and that guard is trying to reach you to the outside, then you don't loop, right? You stay and you play that block right there. And everybody else will just kind of adjust. But if you are looping, good defensive linemen will know kind of where that point is going to be kind of before, the play already runs. Like you got to count on the nose or the tackle kind of penetrating, and you want to be tight right off of his butt. If you get too looped, then you create a seam in there that ultimately, gives a two-way go on you, which makes it much more difficult. But when you kind of come from tight off the butt, now the angles are in our favor again.
Yeah, you mentioned penetration. That's always been the kryptonite to Lincoln Riley's offense, whether it's run or pass. Talk about how important it is, because I'm just thinking about at times, there's different units at Nebraska that some games they don't play well. And I was just thinking about, I was actually talking to my dad today about it when we played up at Washington.
Yeah.
And, we were dominating that game, and then they kind of got some late passing yards. But it was a little bit of an issue until we decided as a front seven to really start to dominate, to make it. And then when we got into the bowl game, obviously against Peyton Manning, we pretty much shut them down. Talk about the importance of, number one, the penetration against the spread offense and what it does, not only for the defense, but for them mentally. And then talk about leadership, because you were a captain, you and Grant were captains that year, how it is that, like, we can raise our game and we bring everybody else with us. Because I think that's important when you start to finish 4 games into November.
Yeah, and it was funny because this morning I was at the gym and just kind of thinking of stuff, and the leadership thing came up, and I was thinking, like we have these captains, right? But they're kind of like team captains, and yeah, we had team captains, but for the most part, like Grant and I, our senior year, we were kind of the defensive captains, like Aaron Taylor and Vershawn, they kind of handled offense. Like you got enough on your plate with just trying to keep, your side of the ball motivated. And do you know what I mean?
Oh,
like,
I know what that means. Yeah.
And sometimes I think like, like it wasn't often like that I would go down to the offense, once we came off the field, you might see him on the way to the bench or whatever and be like, hey, let's go, kind of crank this thing up. But for the most part, you kind of you just, kept to your own side of the football. Obviously in the locker room beforehand, that's a different story.
Right.
But like out on the field, it was like, all right, Grant and I, defense, Rashawn, AT, they'll handle the offense. And I don't know if that's how they're operating. But yeah, I mean, I think it'd make it a lot easier if it was just kind of like, okay, you got, Dylan on offense, and I'm not even sure who the other guys are that are captains.
Well, I mean,
Sierra's
probably Sierra on defense. Yeah.
And I know they've been talking a lot about, Sierra's impact and everything. And nothing wrong with a little guy kind of being a leader. There have been plenty of great, little guys that have been leaders before. You would like to see a big guy as well start to step up.
A Javen Wright type of guy.
Somebody,
in the middle.
yeah. It just has a little more impact when it's a big guy that is kind of demanding something out of the rest of the group. I forget, what was the first part of the question?
How penetration is the key to stopping Lincoln Riley's offense, or part of it. Obviously there's you gotta tackle well and all that stuff.
I mean, ultimately that's what it is going to come down to. I think you're going to have to do everything well in a game like this. I mean, wouldn't you say this is the biggest game of the year at this point
for Nebraska? This is
right.
This is it. This is. I mean, it's do or die.
Who else? Like Iowa on the schedule is they're 6-2, and they seem to they annihilated Minnesota.
That game was over. You might well just leave at halftime,
right? I mean, they annihilated them. You're gonna have to be fundamentally sound. You're gonna have to do all the little things right. You're gonna have to keep composure on the sidelines. There might be times where you're down by 10 or 14, and to give our guys credit, they have been down in those situations and have figured out a way. Special teams is going to be huge again. Right. I mean, you look at the impact that they've had so far on this season, and at least 2 wins.
Yeah, for sure.
Right?
Yeah, big hand in the last 3.
At least 2 wins. Yeah. They're 4-4 without Mike Eckler and the change at special teams, I think. So, they're going to have to do a good job. And I mean, penetration, getting there, they're going to have to be cautious, though. You can't just run up the field. Obviously, they'll run. They have screen game, package and stuff like that. And then just any time that, like we talked about, you got a quarterback that's got wheels on them, you got to be cautious of that. Everybody's got to stay in their rush lanes. You got to run those nose and tackle those TE stunts. They all have to be run the correct way. Like there is not a lot of room
for error,
in this game.
And that's what I mean. I was talking to my dad. I was like, man, I like these games though.
Yeah.
Because I like the when it's all on the line.
Oh,
I mean, it kind of reminds me when we kicked Darren Airster at that. It's on line. But I wanted to ask you. You mentioned special teams, and it just popped in my head. When you were at Carolina, was Bates there? Michael Bates there?
Yeah.
So Michael Bates was the Olympic sprinter.
Yeah,
Olympic sprinter, really good returner with New Orleans. And now that Nebraska special teams is back, kind of like when we played at Nebraska, but I know in the pros, I know when I played special teams, and I knew Michael Bates is over there. He's like, hey, you better be on it, because he gets one little lane.
You're gone.
Talk about what it's like to be, I guess, on defense or offense, and knowing that you have a legit returner now. You know what I'm saying? And how that can kind of change your mindset.
Yeah. And we also had Rocket too,
who
returned punts and stuff. But yeah, I mean, those guys, they changed the game.
Yeah.
And I mean, it was fun watching guys like Michael Bates and Rocket, because if they just a little crack, in that punt team running down or that kickoff team running down, and boom, they were gone.
Right.
And you know how much faster and harder things hit at that next level, right? Like that was the biggest difference for me. Like, in college, you kind of had time to, you get your hands on the offensive lineman, you kind of get a feel for, okay, he's blocking me this way or blocking me that way, kind of, throw him off, and there you go, you make the play. In the NFL, it's almost like you got to assume, not you don't want to guess, obviously, but it's like you don't get that half an extra
The
second.
yeah.
You know, it's like that ball is hitting that much faster.
Right.
You know,
I always tell people that the difference between college and the NFL is it open and closes a lot faster.
Yeah.
But every play is made for somebody to make a mistake, and then the running back's getting paid a lot. At least when we played, they hit their head on the goalpost.
Yeah.
And sometimes you learn, the hard way. We got about 2 or 3 minutes. I wanted to ask you about. You were here before I got here, and obviously we were able to be on the championship teams. And I think Nebraska, obviously, by no means is obviously, potentially going to win a championship, or they might be great if they did. But I think there's steps to becoming, in our case, national champions. They're trying to become like nationally, like
relevant,
15 or whatever. Right. Talk about that jump, because I think it's hard, because I think fans expect you to go from 6-6 to 15-0,
right,
or 14-0.
Yeah.
Talk about the process of the offseason, and then I was able to come in '94, but you had to be here before, and you knew what Christian was here and going through before too.
Yeah, I mean, we were fortunate that we came in where leadership had really kind of been established, and the work ethic had kind of really been established. So, being, getting here as a freshman, you kind of go through everything, that all freshmen go through. And it's like 2 weeks in, you're second guessing whether or not you're even able to do this at this level. But most guys go through that first time being away from home, new people, new teammates, new coaches, all that stuff. But eventually you just kind of, you get adjusted and that becomes kind of your new family. But it was, it was, you always thought you worked hard, even in high school or whatever, to become a guy that, all these schools are offering you scholarships to. But then you get here and you realize your work ethic is nothing compared to what it needs to be. Do you know what I mean? It's like, and then especially like for us, and not that Charlie was the only one that made people work. Charlie, would let you certainly know if you weren't working hard enough. And even when you thought you were working hard, there was a good chance that he was telling you were still half-assing it. So it was, they drained, like, T.O. and that coaching staff got every bit of juice out of us that they could possibly get out of us.
I do have to ask on the work ethic thing. Jay Foreman is on record on this radio show for saying he wasn't introduced to the weight room really throughout his redshirt year.
When I got here, Jason will tell you, I was skinny.
Yeah. It was about, what 200, 205?
If that. First of all, Jason's being nice. I remember we were texting one time, and we were talking about arms. He was like, "Yeah, you had those pencil arms." I was getting thrown out the club when I was a redshirt freshman. When I was redshirt.
But that was what they looked for back then. They wanted, guys that could run. That was the most important thing, right?
Also, they picked the slew-footed guy.
Right.
Yeah.
But if you don't have guys that can run, and that was, that was T.O. taking strong safeties and making them linebackers. Taking linebackers and making them defensive ends, taking defensive ends, making them D tackles, so on and so forth. But you had to be able to run. Like literally, like when you looked at, like, say, the 95 defense or whatever, they would kind of, even when you listen to the announcers, if you watch a game or something, they'd be like, well, the only two real, guys that can't quote unquote run, would be like the D tackles, but everybody else on the field could fly, like could fly, could catch running backs running down the field. You know what I mean? Like you had to be able to run. Speed is the most important thing. And then, you obviously combine that then with guys that are strong and smart and know how to play football and do the little things right. And that's where you end up then having something where, you're living in reality when you're talking about college football playoff.
Yeah.
It's not just some hype, some dream. Cause it's great, whatever, you can talk about it, but you better have the horses out there, and they better have the right mentality as well, because it's not just about having the horses, right? Like you can have great players. You can go out and you can buy yourself a team of 5 stars, but if you don't have the right mentality out there,
and
right?
like Brian Kelly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
So Yeah, that's good points there. We're going to take a quick break, come back. We're going to talk about the magnitude of Nebraska against USC and how do you go about winning this game, because I think that's probably something that not everybody knows what it takes, but we're going to let you know. Jay Foreman, Jason Peter, Austin. We'll be right back.
You're listening to Old School with Jay Foreman and Austin Orman. Download the mobile app and listen wherever you are on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. From now through the end of November, Ferndale fresh turkeys are just $3.99 per pound and in limited stock, perfect for your holiday meals. Plus, you can stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday at the Mercado East or Fired Up Friday at the Mercado North. With locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha, get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle. MHC isn't a new company, just a new name. Moe's Moving is now Moe's Home and Commercial. Whether moving across town or across the state, MHC Moving has you covered, specializing in home, apartment, assisted, and independent living moves. MHC can handle your commercial moves as well. MHC Moving has zero hidden fees. You'll never pay for same-day booking or be charged for stairs, heavy items, or elevator fees. Rates are the same Monday through Saturday, and you will never pay a truck or fuel surcharge. And they offer payment plans through PayPal. Call MHC Moving today at 402-853-7167 or go to mhcmoving.com.
Have you heard about Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center? Located at 7555 Pioneers Boulevard, Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center offers compassionate, patient-focused care and provides outpatient surgery services, making it possible to have non-emergency surgery and return home the same day. Advanced Medical Imaging Surgery Center specializes in cardiology, vascular radiology, orthopedics, pain management, and much, much more. Give them a call today at 402-261-1085 or online at amimaging.com.
Schweizo Construction is now hiring for skilled craftsmen, steel erectors, concrete workers, and general laborers. Schweizo Construction offers great benefits like premium wages, health and dental insurance, paid holidays and vacation, 401k with company match, life insurance, and disability insurance. They pride themselves on a legacy of 40 years built on integrity and trust. Joining their team means becoming part of a family that values hard work, dedication, and mutual respect. Apply today at schweizo.com. That's SCHWISOW.com.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
A lot of businesses say they're family focused, but when tough situations in life arise, the business wants anything but your best interests. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring, and they will always treat their employees like family, just as they do their customers. James Enterprise Incorporated is hiring Class A and B CDL drivers, a shop tech, and a diesel mechanic. If you're looking for a career with a company that goes above and beyond to value you and your family, apply today at jamesenterpriseinc.com or call 402-432-6740. All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320. For remote starters, audio upgrades, and more, there's only one place to go. Auto Sounds of Lincoln at 48th and O.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up? We're back. Jay Foreman, Jason Peter, Austin Orman, Old School, Nebraska USC week. Just hazing the barn. I mean, essentially. You got one more practice tomorrow, but the physical practices probably are over with. With that being said, Jason, the magnitude of this game, I think since we've kind of been able to be in these, and it's either in the front of your or the back of your mind. Talk about the magnitude of this game for Nebraska if they're able to push through and get the W.
Yeah, they need this one. Otherwise, you look at the whole schedule and you can't really boast about any of the win. Like, oh, that was a great win. Do you know what I mean? Like, right now, the best thing that they have is Cincinnati win, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
considering how they're playing. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you want to hang your hat on something, at the end of the year, you got to beat USC here. And who knows how USC will finish? I mean, there have been years, I think, where he started them off well, and then they just
tanked
towards the end of the season. He's still fighting for his job out there.
Yeah.
But just in terms of what's on our table right now, USC. I mean, the next game is always the biggest game, but for us, as old retired guys looking at it, you really needed Michigan. That one was for the taking. That was we should have won that. USC. Is Iowa or anybody ranked at this point?
Iowa might be ranked.
Iowa might get there.
By the time we play them,
right,
they'll most likely be ranked.
Yeah. You just need it for your confidence as well for your team. I mean, there's a lot of, everybody can admit there's a lot of talk that comes out of the stadium down there. They're good at that. But the talk, people start to second guess it unless you have some decent wins behind it. And, you can't get to the end of the year and boast about, beating Northwestern and beating Maryland, and Michigan State. Those are games that, especially you're talking NIL era now, right? Like we're paying more, for guys than you need to win those games. I'm not a huge, every game's going to come down to 3 points. I don't buy it. I think there's distractions that maybe cause kids to overlook, games that they should win. When you think about, all the stuff that they're doing off the field and the whole branding and, whether it's videos or whatever it may be, there's a lot of stuff that can be a distraction. And, just get a couple kids that are distracted from one, a team going into one game and there you go. I don't really buy into the, this is the Big Ten. Every game is going to be decided. If that was the case, then you take the 3 points when you go down on Michigan on the opening drive and you take, right. I mean, if every game's coming down to 3 points, then you don't pass up when you have an opportunity to get 3 points.
Right. Yeah. I never even thought. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely tough. The thing that it'll be interesting to see what team, like in particular this game, like who punches first.
Yeah.
And what I mean is we know this. We've been in this game. We've been in these games, whether it was Florida, whether it's Colorado, whether it's at Washington. The mindset that you go on the road versus you're at home, or like 96 against Colorado, where the offense was kind of sputtering a little bit. We got to kind of get going. It'll be interesting to see the punch or be punched. I think Nebraska could get to the point where they, like more than a field goal. Like, you get off, and as long as you play good, you win by 8, 9, 10 points.
Right.
But I think there's a process to it, and it's a huge game. I think playing a like opponent, their strengths could be our kryptonite. Our strengths could be their kryptonite. It's like, all right, now we're going to see, like, you're excited to get to play, because there's a difference between when you like the competition,
Right.
that means you want it, and then you're kind of, we play
Right.
guys like, all right, they just kind of
Right.
like to play. When you love it,
What
it is a big difference.
What do you think our strengths are going into this game?
Well, our strength is our veteran back end, right? Against, just Lincoln Riley and all his play
Right.
calling.
But I think to your point from last segment, that can't be a strength unless you get penetration.
Right. So it goes hand in hand. You can have, I've played on defense where we had like really good DBs,
Right.
like, in Houston,
Yeah.
and we couldn't sniff a quarterback.
Right.
When we were getting lit up like Christmas tree.
Which then it doesn't matter who you
Right.
got back there.
Right.
In
So
the back end.
I think that's one of their strengths. And then offensively, I just think their ability, when they're doing it right, they can play pitch and catch and kind of, Moses their way. I don't think we've been as explosive as probably we'd like, but they got to be able to. Emmett's a strength for us,
Right. Yeah, for sure.
And this is a game, for Emmett. This is a game. I'm not like most of these guys are on the radio. Anytime you do good, then you're a legend. But this is a game that you get remembered.
Right.
Big game. I remember my mom telling me, "Listen, the big games, you have to play good.
Yeah.
There is no
Right.
circumstances. So this is a game where the superstars on our team have to play good. So I guess we'd probably say, if I said a strength, would be Emmett, because he's consistent.
Yeah.
And then the DBs, just because they, like by the numbers, have been pretty decent.
Best players got to play their best in the big games.
Right.
Right.
Yeah.
That's, Dylan needs to take care of the football. I don't need to see any lefty throws or any of that stuff, trying to shovel it over guys' heads and stuff, because in these types of games, all that ball needs to do is get tipped, something, throw it off, and then it's going back the other way.
Yeah.
Right?
And that's the way that USC's defense, like,
yeah,
they like that. It's high risk, high reward. It'll be, I think we never had this where we kind of like didn't know.
Right.
We kind of knew we could depend on each other. Never was easy, but we kind of already been through this process. It'd be interesting to see, it could bring out the best in you.
Yeah.
Or it could be like, all right, we got to still go back and work at it. It'd be interesting to see how the guys go out there and compete, because the coaches only can do so much.
Right.
The guys got to take it and run with it.
Yeah.
And it's got to be everybody. It's got to be the special teams. It's got to be the backside corner. It's got to be,
it's not just one or two groups out there. It's everybody has got to be dialed in, and they got to know what to do. You can't have mental errors, can't have breakdowns. And everyone's got to be flying to the ball, and offense, linemen need to finish blocks. They need to get on blocks. Running backs need to pick up blitzers. All that stuff. Yeah, and special teams going to have to be a big part of it as well too. I don't know if without special teams, if we necessarily would have enough, right? But you obviously have 2 or 3 guys that are returning balls that are threats that take it back to the house every time they touch it. So. If special teams locked into their blocks and give those guys a chance to get some open field and turn on the jets, I think it's going to take all 3 phases for us to come out on top on this one.
You mentioned distractions real quick. How do you think that we would have done? Well, first of all, if they had social media, we'd have been, they probably wouldn't have.
You would have only won 2 national titles.
Iguanas would have been off limits. How do you think you would have reacted or dealt with NIL? Because you had the Peterbilts, you and Christian, the D line. Obviously, we were winning. We'd like to think we'd have been locked. I know the way that you're wired, we would have probably said, we want to show you and get more.
Right.
How do you think you would have handled that?
It's like the stuff that I would always tell like Ty and Nash. I'd be like, look, we're not chasing. Like, this NIL money is great, right? but that's not the money we're chasing. Like you ultimately want Sunday money.
Yeah.
And to do that, you got to put in the work now, right? Like if you get caught up in trying to make every extra dollar that you can here, then forget it. That's going to be where your focus is. For us, like it's just so different, right now. Like all these guys are buddies with a lot of the guys from the media, especially the recruiting guys.
Yeah.
They have relationships. Compare that to us, whereas we didn't want anybody to know what we were doing. Do you know what I mean? Like we just didn't. And there was part where media was kind of not necessarily our enemy, but like there was an aspect of, you can't fully trust them.
Yeah.
They'll get, they change one or two words of what you said, and it just changes the whole way that the article reads. But, we were also taught by TO, like, look, whoever we're playing this week is the best opponent that we've played. They're dangerous. If we don't play our best, then we're beatable, and it just, like, it might have been boring, but it kept the focus on just what we were doing from the time we walked into meetings to the time that we walked off that practice field.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean? Like everything, like we were just so consumed with winning championships.
Yeah.
Like it was never about like looking at the schedule and being like, okay, we get that game. Like it was just like, okay, this is who we have to run through in order to achieve, our goal. And that was it. And, our mindset, even when we left, I say it all the time, when we left the stadium at night, like obviously for some you had, the homework and academics that you had to take care of and do that stuff. But like when you left, your brain was still wired football. It was football. And you were thinking whether it was about practice earlier that day or you were thinking about what you were going to see on Saturday from, the offensive line or from the quarterback. And I just don't know if they have that same mindset because of all the distractions now that they have.
Yeah, I don't think it's just Nebraska. I think these kids are just not.
Right.
I mean, because I don't think any of them watch, Dallas against the Giants start from finish.
Right.
Because there was times that we'd be watching games and, we were Charlie and them would be running the defenses that we'd see on TV.
Yeah.
So we'd see, whatever D lineman or watch old Nebraska players start to finish. And that's just part of it because everything's like real quick, like Sports Center and social media. But
they'd rather just see some of the highlights on the phone.
Yeah.
I mean, I was watching Cam Scattaboo do an interview, and they were asking him, about like who he grew up following or whatever in the NFL or some of his favorite players, and he literally like didn't have an answer. He's like, I didn't pay any attention to NFL football.
Yeah, because you know why? Because he's too busy watching his own highlights. Hey, look at my run. Yeah, I mean, it's crazy because real quick they compare him to Mike Allstott. I played against Mike Allstott. Homeboy was for real.
Yeah,
like Mike Allstott was. Because Scattaboo's all right. Mike Allstott is for real.
We've now had Warwick Dunn and Mike Allstott. You need to find a Saint to talk about in the next segment.
Heath
Evans, Big Heath, Big Heath, and they had John Conrad. He was in your draft class, right?
They had Ironhead was down there for a while.
Yeah,
I know when I first got into the league.
Yeah, so it's a different kid. People always ask me about it. I was like, I think we would have probably tried to get more, kind of prove ourselves.
But you also had Coach Osborne, who would have made sure that that wasn't. He would remind us, I'm sure, every day that look, getting every cent and milking every penny out of this state and out of this program is not the objective here. Do you know?
He would have probably been like Nick Saban with
absolutely.
Was it Bryce Young and Will Anderson kind of kept them in line? It worked out for them. They went number 1 and number 3.
Yeah,
in draft. So I mean. It still can be done, but it'd be, it was really interesting to see. We're going to take a quick break, come back, put a bow on this bad boy. Jason Peter, Jay Foreman, Austin. We'll be right back.
Watch Old School live on Facebook, YouTube, or Twitch. Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
All right, Lincoln, if you're a diesel technician who's ready to earn up to $40 an hour and you're tired of working nights and weekends, listen up. Inland Truck Parts and Service is hiring experienced diesel technicians right here in Lincoln, and they're offering what every hardworking tech wants. Monday through Friday hours, no nights, no weekends, and paid training on advanced diesel technology. With 37 locations across 12 states, career advancement opportunities are endless. Start building towards your future and apply today at inlandtruck.com. That's inlandtruck.com. Or text APPLY to 785-369-1320.
Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services is here to help you protect things that are most important to you. Whether it's your home, your family, or your future, Jack Russell has the proven experience to get the job done while developing authentic relationships with you. Give Jack a call today at 402-421-9100. Again, that's 402-421-9100. Or visit one of his 2 locations in Lincoln or Seward and learn how you can excel in the complicated world of insurance. Jack Russell of Farm Bureau Financial Services, a trusted and well-respected representative since 1999.
I'm Kirk Herbstreit, and today I'm eating Raising Cane's.
Herbstreit's in the drive-thru again. Oh, hey, Kirk. What can I get you today?
I want a solid bench of 4 chicken fingers that are real difference makers. Sprinkle cut fries with dynamic ridge patterns, Texas toast, and cane sauce with an air of smugness that comes from knowing you're the best. Now back to you, Todd.
So the usual.
Make Raising Cane's part of your game day lineup. One love.
Empower a child today with the Teammates Mentoring Program by building a relationship based on strengths and chart a brighter future 1 week at a time. Find out how you can be a mentor by visiting LincolnTeammates.org. Become what you needed as a kid by joining the Teammates Mentoring Program today.
Empire Netting and Fence delivers top quality netting and fence solutions. From major sports venues to backyard installs and everything in between, coast to coast. We take on tough jobs with grit, integrity, and a strong commitment to safety. Empire is growing, and we're hiring motivated people ready to grow with us. We build each other up, and we're building something big. Think you've got what it takes? Apply now at empire-fence.com. That's empire-fence.com.
Tired of asking what's for dinner? Nourished for Life has got you covered. At Nourished, they're a local meal prep company that delivers fresh, chef-crafted, healthy meals straight to your door. Made from wholesome ingredients and ready when you are. No shopping, no chopping. Just heat, eat, and enjoy every night of the week. Fuel your busy days with balanced meals that are designed to keep you satisfied and energized. Visit nourishedforlife.co to purchase meals and taste the convenience of home-cooked comfort without the hassle.
There's always a new experience to be had at Arbor Day Farm in Nebraska City. From events, adventures, wine tastings, or the Discovery Ride, you can never get tired of seeing what the property has to offer. Make a weekend out of it by staying at the Lead Lodge and enhance your stay with their special packages that include luxurious treatment. Learn more or book your adventure today online at arbordayfarm.org.
Hey Husker Nation, this is Todd Euler, 2-time national champion, here to talk to you about Window World Lincoln. At Window World, we specialize in replacement windows, doors, siding, and roofing. Whether you're looking to enhance the beauty of your home or increase its energy efficiency, we've got you covered. And here's the best part. We offer the best for less. Our team is dedicated to providing top quality products and exceptional service at affordable prices. We want to earn your business and make your home improvement dreams a reality. So why wait? Contact Window World Lincoln today at 464-7313 or visit our website at WindowWorldLincoln.com. Window World Lincoln, where quality meets affordability.
Here at Aspen Builders, our company is building more homes today than I thought we would ever build.
Bob Benish is the founder and president of Aspen Builders, online at aspenbuildersinc.com.
You know, I am just shocked at how strong our market is here in Lincoln and at Aspen Builders. We're probably helping people right now more than ever get into a new home. We've been able to find pieces of ground we can develop affordably and keep our lot prices down a little bit. I think with our volume discounts and our office staff, 35 years of experience, we figure out a plan that's going to work great for you. We make it perfect. We make it fit your price range. All of this is part of the reason we're so busy.
Make your dream home a reality and call Aspen Builders at 423-6811. Online at aspenbuildersinc.com. Your home is waiting at Aspen Builders.
Back to Old School with Foreman and Orman on 93.7 The Ticket and theticketfm.com.
What up, Jay Foreman, Austin Orman, Jason Peters, stepping in for this hour. Goes by too quick. We gotta get this extended. We gotta get when DP gets back. We gotta get on it. But Jason, give us one or two players that have to. Everybody has to play good,
right?
But the guys that have to play, it's like no way they can't not play good, and Nebraska play and wins.
I think you need obviously one of the ends, probably Nawari. Somebody's got to get some sort of pressure, right, when he throws. Then you're going to need. And I saw something where it looks like Judy is playing almost twice as many snaps as any other interior down lineman. He obviously is going to have to play well and be stout. In the middle, linebackers are going to be huge, obviously, in this game. Javen, who played great, I thought probably played his best game last week, right?
Yeah, he's been playing really good.
Yeah. He needs to continue to play well. On the offensive side, you're dealing with they've got good athletes on that side of the football. They're on defense. SC they got athletic defensive linemen. So they're all. I mean, the whole unit's going to play well. Dylan obviously can't be lazy with the football. I mean it's hard to pick one, just a couple, because I think in this type of game it's going to take an entire team effort. But and especially the way that it's hard, I think, for the front seven, the way that they play a lot of things now. Whereas when we would get reached as a down guy by the offensive line, we would fight that pressure. Like if they're trying to get to my outside shoulder, I'm fighting, that's my kind of strong point there. I don't want him to be able to turn on me, and get that edge. Whereas now, like, they almost don't care as much about fighting that and keeping your shoulders square down the line of scrimmage. They would rather just let the offensive lineman kind of pass them by and then just get up the field. Right. Well, but you know how that is. I mean, now you're putting a 300-pound guy, trying to match the athleticism of a 210 super athletic tailback, and counting on him making the play. If he's not already past the point where, you're getting upfield, do you know what I mean?
Oh, I know that.
So, there's a lot of things in the ways that they're teaching them how to play. I'm sure that has benefits in some areas, but kind of can hinder you in against other plays. But I mean, I think Judy needs to play a game that he hasn't played yet this year.
Yeah, I mean, I think if one thing from my experience, I always go back to when we played Colorado up there. I think in '97. I think, or whatever, is that when you guys got started, then it allows everybody else to finish.
Right.
First play of the game or whatever. First couple series, you want to get off early, get that out the way, and then get down and handle business. I think second level, whoever's playing, whether it's linebackers, nickels, all those, they got to do a really good job tackling. But more important, I think they have to have like no mishaps in communication.
Right.
Because I think that allows the D line to play better. And then obviously allows the DBs, the second level, can control how like over aggressive or panic mode the DBs are.
Right.
Because you're handling, I'm doing some things that maybe extra, it allows them to make plays. Because I do think if the game gets tight, you'll get a chance to make a play, like an interception or something. You just got to get there, and that's the hardest part against their teams because they're so explosive.
What do you think, Butler? I mean, going off of the Minnesota loss and Rule kind of being critical of him, saying it was too vanilla. You obviously have to be somewhat balanced, right? You can't run, zero blitz every time. You can't run man every play. You can't run zone every play. But like more aggressive.
Yeah. I think real quick before, like for him, I think this game might be easier to call for him.
Right.
Because this is like an NFL game, like where, I mean, he was a DB coach with Kansas City, both in Houston and Buffalo. So he can probably draw back on that stuff. So I think you're going to see a little bit of a mix. I think Minnesota makes it hard because you might be watching like, dang, I got 8 guys in the box.
Right.
Dude running. Like,
Right.
So we'll see. Anyways, always too short. Appreciate Jason coming down there.
Yep.
We do not appreciate the traffic.
No.
But we do appreciate Darren Erstad and
Yeah.
Derek Dukart
Yes.
donating to the Darren, we love you, man. We got to make this more often.
Yeah.
Jay Foreman, Jason, Austin, we'll holla.
Load up on meat and more this fall at the Mercado by Certified Piedmontese. From now through the end of November, Ferndale fresh turkeys are just $3.99 per pound and in limited stock, perfect for your holiday meals. Plus, you can stop by for lunch on Fired Up Thursday at the Mercado East or Fired Up Friday at the Mercado North. With locations at 84th and Havelock, 30th and Yankee Hill, and now 85th and Old Cheney in Lincoln, or 168th and Maple in Omaha, get to the Mercado today for the best meat in town.
Sometimes good people make mistakes. When you find yourself in need of an attorney, call Liberty Law Group. The attorneys at Liberty Law Group will defend you in court and protect your freedom to get you the best possible outcome and the justice you deserve. Trust your freedom to Liberty Law Group, the best criminal attorneys in Nebraska and Iowa. Call them today at 877-404-5238. That's 877-404-5238. Or check them out online at libertylawgroup.com.
Are you tired of your usual barbershop experience? Stop in